Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2015 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me always is
James, and
Brad is actually showing a new trailer for his film Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van at the
what's it called?
Intendance Film Festival.
Intendance Film Festival. So in his place, fuck Brad, we got Zach Eastman, filmmaker.
Hey.
We got Randy. He's a comic book guy. Say
Hello.
hi. And we have a live studio audience.
Hello.
Woo.
Sean and Matt are here.
Sean and Matt.
Not to imply that it takes 4 people to replace Brad, though.
No, it only takes a half a person.
Takes 2 to make a thing go
we
right.
did last week's show without him altogether, so it was good.
I think it's back-to-back weeks, though, Brad. Brad's been busy.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope his short he's working on works out well for him. I know he's putting a lot of work into it.
Yeah, there were some
Dude's
crazy
fucking
nights,
crazy, man. He was telling me he's up till 3 in the morning shooting this thing, and then he goes to work like at 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck that.
That's the commitment of a true artist, Ryan.
Hey,
Dedication.
you know what? The other night I was playing Injustice on PlayStation 4 until like 2 in the morning. I had to wake up at 6 and be to work.
And you
And that
have
was
the same
hard work.
argument as well.
Yes, and I was a little grumpy that day. Actually, I was fine. I really wanted to come back and because there's this like Star Lab in it where it's basically
You have
horse.
to try and make sure it doesn't crash into the earth.
No.
Oh, that was a deep cut NASA joke, everybody. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, in it's like horse, and you are Shazam, and you're fighting Black Adam, and so he hits you like 3 times, and you have to do a combo more than his. So if it does 19% damage, you have to do like 24 or 20. I guess I'll make it easier. So when you get to and you have to spell out Shazam. When you get to the M, he does a 7-hit combo for 36% damage. I played that one
Jesus.
for like an hour. I couldn't get the fucking juggle to come up right.
Oh, I
So-
can never do the juggle. I'm really bad at the juggle.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I can get about 30%, but I always miss time this because you hit them in the air, then they hit against the back wall, and then they come down, and then I do another combo where I hit him twice, and I hit him back in the air, then he has this like grab that he says Shazam, and then it pops him up again, and I always miss time, like the last little punch. The last little punch, I miss time.
I really, I've been listening to a lot of video game podcasts over the
You son
last
of a
week or
bitch.
so, and well, ever since I moved in with Dan, because he's a big fan of Giant Bomb that I've talked about before, and today I was like really itching. I was like, man, I want to play a PS4 game, and I was at the Walmart, and I was staring at the Tomb Raider collection on PS4 because I was
great.
thinking about it, and then I remembered, no, I have the PC version. I can just go home and play that. But I was so close just because I wanted to play something on there. I think I got to get Watch Dogs. I just don't want to pay $60 for it.
Yeah. I did pre-order Arkham Knight like a month ago, and now it's going to be like 7 months before it shows up.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I know. A lot of the stuff I want to play is going to be 7 months before it shows up.
You know, actually, I took a chance on this. It's a PS3 game that I've wanted to play for a long time, and it's called Puppeteer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a really cute little game, and it's really clever, and I didn't know if it's any good, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm blowing through it, though. It's really easy, I think.
What's the
That's what I've
what's
heard.
the premise of something like Puppeteer?
You're literally a
A
marionette.
puppeteer?
No,
Yeah.
you're a little puppet on a little puppet stage, and it's really clever. Like each world is on the stage, and it's all pulled together with like backdrops, and so it's a really cute little clever game.
At the beginning of the game, at the start menu, do you hear, I got no strings to hold me down?
No, that's expensive, sir.
It's an
You can bleep it
indie
out.
game. They ain't got no kind of money.
You only got like 2 seconds out of that, so don't
Oh,
worry,
yeah,
no
yeah.
losses.
No, yeah.
No,
It's only 30
we
seconds.
got 30 seconds.
Yeah, the podcast is
But
fun.
anyways, fuck video games. We're a movie podcast. Every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week we saw Transformers.
Guys, I think we just saw Transformers.
Yeah. I think we got a Transformer here. Age of Extinction.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it's got dinosaurs in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I get it.
Ah.
We spoil the shit out of movies, so stay tuned. We review them at the end. We play the trailer, and then after the trailer, we spoil the crap out of movies.
There's not a lot of spoil in this one, so you can listen to the whole show because it's got dinosaurs in it.
Does it really?
And cars turn into robots. True, yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
It's
we also
dinobots.
talk about movie news, stuff we've been watching, stuff that's coming out on Blu-ray, box office stats, We also do comic books.
Yeah.
We have a comic book guy here, so I'm sure he has a comic book for us
Oh,
this
that's
week.
true.
I sure do.
Cool.
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to start with Comic Book Corner.
Yes.
And I'm sorry I'm not looking at you, Randy. It's just if I turn my head like this, it starts hurting.
Yeah, well, because
Oh, it
after
does. It
after
does
3 hours in the
indeed.
theater, things get stiff.
Yes.
Do we need our bumper?
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
Yes.
Good thinking. This is why you're here.
So, Randy, what comic book do you have for us? Amazing Spider-Man 3?
No.
Why did you say that so vindictively?
Randy, will you marry me? Now,
Maybe.
I've heard enough about Spider-Man, Ryan.
I'm actually reading, while he's looking for the comic, I'm reading Amazing Spider-Man from the early 90s right now, because
Yeah.
I went to Colorado Coins and all their back issues are half off, Randy. So I get them for like $1. And
Oh, that's really cheap. I get them for like 10% above cost, which is less than $1.
cool story, Randy.
You dick.
ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
trying-
welcome to the new host of Real Nerds, Randy.
I'm trying to support a local comic
just
shop.
undermined
I am
the
supporting
entire
my local
comic
comic
book
shop,
industry.
too.
So how much do
hey,
comic books
guys,
cost when you order them
Shit's
then?
like a quarter, man.
About $1.38.
$1.38.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like your average $4 comic costs you about $1.30.
Oh, that's not so bad. Because the truth is,
Yeah, everything is
take
that
a lot
way.
to run that show.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what?
I mean,
It's okay. I'd rather pay it because I want to see artists like Paulo Rivera keep on drawing stuff. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like how I pulled that name out of somewhere, right? Anyways, what comics you got for us? Is it
so-
Trial by Jury, Amazing Spider-Man 363 through 365?
Not even close.
What? Dude, in that one, Mary Jane quit smoking. It's not good.
No,
so
I
her,
can tell.
so it was about as boring as my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Trial by
Yeah.
I'm trying to
jury?
quit smoking.
Well, there.
How
So
else would you try?
in the
well,
early '90s, Venom branched off into Lethal Protector,
Right.
and his main adversaries were this group of superpowered,
every issue just sounds
I know, right?
polybagged.
Yeah.
Like,
superpowered entities called the jury. And
Yeah.
what they did is they would capture you and they would execute you because they were the jury. And they're in Spider-Man, and it's not that good.
Randy, I feel like he's stealing your comic book corner to
Mark
talk about
Bagley's
Spider-Man.
Mark Bagley's a
slightly,
great
yeah.
artist, though.
I do love Bagley.
Yeah.
Did Bagley do your book, Randy?
No.
Cool. What book you got for us?
It's called The Woods.
Oh, fuck.
Um,
Just kidding.
So
Oh, this sounds like one
it's-
of the ones I'm gonna like.
It's well, you will. It's an independent book, and so Previews is really good about like giving out little spoilers and stuff, like the month and a half before you buy the book.
So that nobody wants to read it.
Well, if it's crappy, of course not, because
Yeah.
Image is really good about putting these like first couple 3 pages of a book in. And so the thing that got me most about this, and I had to make sure to write it down so I get it appropriately. So the one thing that it said was on October 16th, 2013, 437 students, 52 teachers, and 24 additional staff from Bay Point Preparatory High School in suburban Milwaukee, Wisconsin, vanished without a trace. And that
There's a lot
was
of
what
detail.
yeah, and that's what made me want to buy this book.
Yeah.
Like I'd already put it down. I didn't care for anything else. So it came in. I read it, and it was very similar to. I keep associating it with the last Predators movie, where they just randomly got dropped into another planet.
Dude.
Same thing. Only the entire school blinked onto another planet.
That's cool.
Huh.
What's really weird is like it's got their own version of bats, but they're like 6 eyes and 4 wings. It's got its own version of like bears that have.
Sean's like, why am I here?
It's like bears that have like 4 arms and like humongous rows of teeth and like 8 eyes and weird ears. And so the idea is like they all land into this random planet, and everybody's panicking and everything else, but it's the troubled kids that like 5 or 6 of them that like patch themselves together and decide that the only way to survive is to leave the school and find a way back home.
Huh.
So the 5 of them get together and they leave, and that's when the school itself starts becoming attacked. In the first issue, a kid gets eaten, which is like the coolest thing ever. You actually get
Hell
to see
yeah.
that happen.
You know,
Hell
an
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 697 shed. The lizard eats his own son.
Aw.
Joe Kelly.
I'm actually now I'm interested in what he's saying. No, Randy, go on.
So and of course they're dropped down in this little spot right in the middle of a big patch of woods, hence the name of the book. So the 5 kids start leaving, and they walk up to the edge of the woods, and there's this giant, like arrowhead pyramid-shaped stone with writing on it. And so they just decide to start heading in the direction of the arrow. So that's the end of the first issue. And the second issue, it turns out that there's these giant mosquito-type things that are very poisonous, and one of them gets poisoned, but he's not telling everybody. They're trying to, again, walk away. The kids try and overthrow the school, and it's just so crazy. Like, everything is happening in the second issue. So if you can get it, I suggest you get it. I bought both the regular and the variant cover for like $20 because I had to have this book. Like, it's awesome. But they're selling out everywhere. So, like, if you can find anywhere that has it, so I don't know, maybe Coins, Cards, and Comics might have it.
Oh, good job, Randy.
They will.
So go talk to Andrew and see if he can hook you up and find you a copy of number 1.
Very cool.
I would definitely recommend that.
That sounds awesome. Does it? I don't know if you ever read Morning Glories, but does it feel like it's going to have more answers than Morning Glories ever did?
Yes.
Because I read Morning Glories for like 20 issues and finally stopped reading it because I was like, look, I love Lost, but y'all are fucking crazy.
I couldn't get that far. I got like 4 issues in. I was like, and I'm done. I got nothing here.
They
to
started
keep me
doing
going.
like Socrates' allegory of the cave, or Plato's allegory of the cave shit, and traveling through time, and never did they explain anything.
Nope,
and
you don't get any. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, I don't really need to see this anymore.
Cool. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good.
So yeah,
Awesome. The Woods?
The Woods.
Who's it written by? Do you know?
I don't.
That's okay. I bet
It's
they're
all over
good.
my Facebook though. I wish I could bring that up fast enough. Like
Let's
it was.
put any name in there, right? Shakespeare.
He wrote it, right?
Yeah.
It only just
I
came
believe
out.
he wrote everything.
But like it was so good that the day I get books on Tuesday night, so I can go home and read them Tuesday night.
He's just showing off.
I know, it's awesome, isn't it? And so Wednesday morning before I left to work, I posted it on Facebook that like everybody should read this thing, and I had like 4 guys tell me to put it in their hold slot. Like I was like, okay, done, no problem. Like it's that good, man. You
That's
you
really
really
cool.
need to find this book and read it.
Cool. Awesome.
Meh, no Pete in it. I don't care.
You dick.
If you can't see
He's
it,
at least
but
he's
Randy
wearing
is
an
wearing
Amazing
a
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
shirt just to appease you.
That's
and you can't give
that's
him the
Eric
time of
Larson
day.
right there.
Damn, that's pretty good. That is good.
Oh well, it's what 345, 344. What
Shit,
cover?
you guys
no,
are.
I think it's. I think you got backwards. I think it's 334.
Okay,
I don't know, something like that.
it's in that
Dude.
300.
But I know it's the one before he holds up Spider-Man's skull. That's pretty sweet.
Another
See, this was-
level.
See, this is when
these guys
this
are
is
on
when
another
Venom
level.
was cool and all you want to do is kill Spider-Man.
Yep.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
then they're like, Venom should be a geek gay.
and everything should be polybagged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We should go out of business.
Giant size 206th issue.
Yeah. Cool.
There's
Brian.
Spectacular Spider-Man
there's
217
some-
is foil stamped. You're like, what?
What?
And it's Typhoid Mary or something
Typhoid
like
Mary?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
right.
like the villain.
Made popular by the 2004 Electra movie.
That came out before.
Was it earlier than 2004?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know the issue. I know the issue did. I was,
Yeah, it's also not even drawn by Sal Buscema, so I don't even give a shit. I'm like, oh, he wasn't in this one? It's all right.
So what are we doing next, Ryan?
I don't know. Fucking box office numbers.
Okay.
This is the box office stats.
Do you know what won this week? I think it's shocking.
Really?
I guess not.
It's not
Damn.
shocking.
I think it's stupid.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't see the first one, but
What is it? What's in the box?
okay.
What's in the
beating out 22 Jump Street and How to Train Your Dragon 2 was Think Like a Man 2 spelled TOO.
Yeah.
Wow.
30 million, right?
Like Look Who's Talking 2.
30 million or 29
No.
million or something.
29 million, yeah. I mean, it only beats 22 Jump Street by $2 million, but still.
Well, that's because
This seems like a slow
sometimes
week,
sometimes movies like that are really driven by female audiences because female audiences aren't given enough and they're force fed this stupid crap. Like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
romantic comedy with a bunch of cougars.
Oh, I've got
Shauna, did you go see Think Like a Man 2?
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Yeah.
no, I mean, but it's a
Shauna, can you replace me at the mic? You're smarter than I am.
Well, no, but it's a problem with Hollywood where they don't make movies that appeal to young women.
Yeah.
And young
I agree.
women, 18 to 24, so they put out this crap where it's a bunch of hot dudes who go to Vegas, and it's supposed to be funny, but it's nothing but a bunch of trash.
Well, we're skirting around the other thing, which is that it's one of those token black people movies that they like to advertise before.
I'm not skirting around it. No, it's the same thing with Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best jokes ever in South Park is the special ed kids have a comedy awards, and no one shows up to get their comedy awards except for Tyler Perry. And so while he's there, Token farts and he laughs, and he's and everyone thinks he's laughing at Tyler Perry because he's black. And that's a joke that's on such another level that's so funny and true.
Yeah. Well, my problem has always been I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to make clean family comedies, and I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to purposefully bring a lot of the black actors out of the woodwork who are not getting the attention that they deserve in mainstream movies. It's that I feel like when you silo them off and then also market them specifically to that community,
I agree.
You actually do it a horrible disservice. And what we get is not actually any kind of equality in Hollywood. What we get is for lack of a better metaphor, 1950s buses in Hollywood where you separate them. Which is, I think, pretty shitty.
Now,
I understand that like Hollywood doesn't like doing what they should be doing,
but Hollywood
that's why Star Wars has an actual like multicultural cast.
What I was going to say is that the same thing could have possibly been said about Shaft, Coffee, Foxy Brown. A lot of things that a lot of film nerds consider very, very deep. I'm not saying that we have to like them.
They were 50 years
really,
ago.
Would you
they were 50 years ago.
I'm not even comparing the two. I'm not even comparing the two.
But they were 50 years ago.
Guys, the show's stopping because I'm going to take Ryan into a back alley and beat him up.
And give me the Shaft deep.
I'm going to give you the Well, that's how I like to do it. First, I punch you in the throat, and then
just ride it home.
Yeah,
blaxploitation. I will defend blaxploitation.
No, it's
partially because it was 50 years ago.
No, it's not even that. And then I'm not saying that we have to like it. I'm not even saying that Think Like a Man 2 or even Think Like a Man 1, like is comparable to that situation. What I'm saying is that it's not unheard of. Like it's gonna keep happening. It's a trend. Like Hollywood has these trends. Like they just do them. It's all
like having refusing to have Asian male leads who ever have actual girlfriends or a real character around them. It's not necessarily a good one though.
I don't say I'm not saying it ain't a problem.
We're not necessarily being fair because of course none of us here have seen the first one. It might be a genuinely good film.
Of Think Like a Man?
Yeah,
I've seen the first one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
is it exactly what we think it is?
Kevin Hart's the funniest part of the movie.
Okay, so it's exactly what
and I saw Ride Along. I get why the guy has a career. The problem is that you're essentially you are selling essentially a false idol, not a false idol, a false idea of what would be relatable in a film. But that cat on your lap, you look like a Bond villain. Tell me, Mr. Frost, you're waiting to die. But like, when you really think about it, like these films are, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Who really cares if somebody's entertained by something? I say go for it. Now the problem is though they are perpetuating a stereotype. It is a problem. But and I love Spike Lee said it best that
he can say
Tyler
something
Perry,
well.
Well, Tyler Perry's. Not this fight. Not tonight. I'm agreeing with you.
Do you like Spike Lee?
I do.
What's wrong with you?
Everything, apparently. He said that Tyler Perry was two words that I can't say out loud because I do have respect for it. I know it's not common in this like age of extremism, but I don't like using like racist words. But he made a description about Tyler Perry's career that I encourage you read that summed it up. It's perpetuating stereotypes to the point of Mammy from Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, but
I feel like Spike Lee's the exact same thing.
I can say the same thing about Spike Lee of how he portrays white people in his film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't.
Because
So there's no point in arguing about it. Like the effrontery of this whole argument is that this movie actually made #1 at the box office.
And that's
the only thing.
That's fine. It's The Hangover for black people. Are you kidding me?
But the fact that you can say it's The Hangover for black people is what's wrong with the movie.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
The Hangover shouldn't be for white people.
I rest my case. Where's Judge Wapner? I rest my fucking case.
No, I agree.
When
Wait, am I
Roger
the only one
Ebert
old enough
died,
to know
his
who-
soul went into Ryan Frost.
No,
man.
don't you ever compare me to Roger Ebert.
I
Never.
I have a lot of hope in a little movie called Dear White People that people should go check out. The
I
trailer
saw the trailer
for
for this, and I thought this was catered to specifically towards me.
it. I think it's going to make fun of a lot of the things we're talking about.
Yep, and
and
I'm
the
gonna
fact
love
that apparently Gremlins is about like black people.
Yeah, that was
Go
amazing.
check out this trailer. They make a comment about Gremlins that strangely rings true in the weirdest way.
Because they eat fried chicken after midnight. The next thing we're going to do is real news.
Yeah, well, and they're like really loud while they watch movies, and
Yeah.
like they bother the shit out of a bunch of white people.
Oh, I was
and
being
like,
funny. You're
no,
being serious?
no. That this is what the trailer says. Like I'm not even. I'm repeating the things that they. Anyway, go check out that trailer because I think that might be interesting.
It's all right, guys. We have black friends.
Anyway, did you know what else came out? Like back in the day, do you want to know what else came out this weekend?
What do
Last
you-
Action Hero.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did you see it's getting a Blu-ray release, and it's the
Damn it, I
original.
just bought that.
I know it's the original poster too.
Oh hell yeah.
That one's way cooler.
Is it going to have special features and stuff?
No,
Oh, no, of course not. It's the last. Yeah.
you can get a book about the Last Action Hero that I keep on meaning to get. There's literally a whole book about the making of that movie because it was such a colossal flop.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because that's going to lead into what we watch this week.
It's also going to lead into news this week,
There
but
we
whatever.
Yeah, I already said real news, so we're doing real news. Shut up, Zach.
I know.
Fuck.
It's real news.
What are we doing?
Real news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, real news.
All right.
Did you guys see that Hawkins is making a fucking movie?
Hawken?
Shane Black's making Predators.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
You stopped me
Yeah.
for a minute. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I even had to go back and be like, oh yeah, he plays Hawkins.
But is it going to be like what Rodriguez did with Predators? Or
No, actually, I read
no.
a whole interview with him because they were saying they wanted him to reboot it. Was the original release from the Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah, I think
But
that's how he got permission. Was he said like, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then-
But he said, no, I'm going to make a sequel and I'm going to expand the mythology of the Predators.
yeah.
So
that's awesome.
that would be nice.
I love that idea.
From the little bits I read from the interview, I got the sense that like he sort of got onto the project first and then redirected it, like which
Yeah.
to me sounds really cool.
That's a sly
He
operator.
wasn't going to say his
'cause
last
it
movie
sounds
made
like
$1 billion
he's-
bucks.
Yeah, right. It sounds like he's, I don't know why you would remake it, right? I don't know why you would reboot it because you could tell the same story today and still call it a sequel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go back and be like, well, this is a
Well,
new
you know
one,
why originally-
and this time the Predators have extra mandibles so that we can say it's a reboot.
You know why he was in
Right.
the original Predator, right?
No,
He wanted to be an actor in Hollywood first.
really.
And the first script for Predator had a lot of issues with it. So they went to him and he says, I'll help you rewrite it if you give me a part in the movie. And that's how he's
Why
in Predator.
why doesn't he write himself into his movies more often?
I don't know.
Is he not very good?
No, he's good as Hawkins, but I
Yeah.
don't know what other. He's in a few movies, but he's
Oh, okay.
he's
I'll have
kind
to
of
go
found a
look it up.
voice of himself as a writer director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then he made all that Lethal Weapon movie and retired for 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon's great.
Yeah.
I know. I can't picture him as Riggs though. Remember the opening scene where they're like doing that drug deal and Mel Gibson's all crazy? It's awesome.
In which one? No, because the first,
The first
scene
one.
The
All
first
of them,
one
they
in
all
the,
start
the
that
tree
way.
farm.
The
The
oh
tree
yeah,
farm.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the very first scene. I was just like, no, the first scene was her jumping out the window after.
I'm talking about the first one with Riggs.
Okay,
Yeah.
with Riggs. Okay. Well, there's the director's cut also where he shoots down that sniper in the school. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? I love that scene. I know it's not necessarily the best part of it, but I thought it was like one of those. I thought it should have been in the first cut, like that we saw in theaters, but
You saw Lethal Weapon in theaters?
no.
I know.
But I've seen both cuts.
I think I'm the only one old
Sure.
enough to have seen Lethal Weapon in theaters.
Did you though?
No.
Yeah,
I think I was like 5.
old enough to be alive. You mean then?
Mommy, why is Wig shooting people?
I might have been old enough to see it.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you know it was amazing? Or,
I didn't like it as much then as I do now.
oh,
Like,
man.
I still have all 4 movies on VHS tape. Like,
Even
just-
the Chris
You still,
Rock one.
you still have
Yeah.
VHS tapes. I forget that.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Do you
When I
have
was
a-
at
do you
Tradesmart
watch
a
them?
couple days
Yeah.
ago,
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy's like, "Hey, how much are your VHS tapes?" And they said 99 cents.
Please,
got like 50
please
of them.
just take them. We need more space for books.
Go into a thrift store and tell them you're willing to buy a box, and they'll sell you like 50 of them for like $3.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just take them in there and say, like, here, would you give me a penny for each of these? Actually, that's pretty much what I do with my DVDs.
See, that's my problem is I haven't gotten into Blu-ray yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm still converting my VHS into DVD.
You just got to skip the DVD part now, sir.
One project at a time, man.
I'm a comic book guy. I'm a completist. I have to do one thing first.
No,
and then go on.
I get it.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel, Brody?
We're gonna get a Pacific Rim 2 in 2016. Found out that this week.
Oh, nice.
And also, Eli Wallach died at the ripe old age of 98. Who, if you don't know Eli Wallach, he was ugly in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Damn.
Oh, right.
But
I saw
98,
that.
like, dude, good for him.
Solid character actor.
Bobby
solid
Womack
performer.
died today. We never talk about music.
No, and you know why?
Yeah.
You know why? Because people suck. Because Bobby Womack sang the song to my favorite movie of all time, Jackie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
The opening credit song is Across 110th Street,
Yeah.
which is from the film
Right.
Across 110th Street.
Right.
But that was a good song. He was a great artist. A true, like, it's just one of those people who just, like, when you listen to that song, you just kind of feel upbeat. You just want to start walking down the
Even
street.
though it's actually a really depressing song.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here-
It's just,
here's what's crazy, though, is
and perfect for Jackie Brown.
I love
yes.
Rod
Oh,
Stewart,
God.
and he's actually... He died, and Rod Stewart was working on an album with him, plus
Oh.
Snoop Dogg, and like all these like huge artists were... Because Bobby Womack was going through like financial trouble, so he got like all his musician friends, and they were all making this new album for him. So hopefully he'll see the light of day, and he'll go to his family, and
hopefully so.
yeah.
All right, Zach, so now you have to wax poetic about Eli Wallach.
When you watch The Good, Bad, and the Ugly... When you watch
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
When
Here
you
we go.
watch Good, Bad, and the Ugly, this is the thing. I haven't watched an Eli Wallach movie in a while, but when I heard the news, it was actually a little sad because I love him in that film. And when you watch that film, we remember Clint perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, we remember like every element of the cinematography. We remember the direction and whatnot, but we seem to forget about Tuco. We seem to forget about like these things like that happen in Good, Bad, and the Ugly, like all the different character actors, and Eli was one of them. He did something that was amazing, and he made a character that was so compelling and rich. A supporting character is always underwhelmed and underrated, and when you watch him perform, you're watching a man who's so committed to his role in it that it allows Clint Eastwood to be that badass.
Oh, I love that I can like make Zach be hyperbolic about anything. Right? Like all I did was say, like, talk about Eli Wallach. It's one of the most amazing things ever.
Let me
No,
ask you a
I
question.
think it's
Do
great.
you and
Good
Ryan,
job.
when I leave the door every time I come out here, do you guys just turn to each other and go, Abed, 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 Abed?
Cool. Cool. So that's news, unless I missed something.
Thank you, Shauna.
Oh, Brandy, do you have something?
Actually, yeah. So I don't know if you guys, maybe you did know it or not. So I went and saw the Transformers movie with a friend of mine yesterday.
Yeah.
Who happens to be a manager at a theater, and she was telling me that they had gotten an email stating that there was this 15-minute, like,
Oh, that's right.
thing for Guardians of the Galaxy that they're going to put
Yeah.
out on the 7th, and it's supposed to be like
In
two
IMAX
twice
or
that
something,
day.
right?
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be. It was supposed to be like a full 15 minutes, something or another. Like
First
maybe.
come, first serve.
Yeah. So,
So
I
they're
thought that
going
was
to
kind
just
of
show
cool.
15 minutes of the movie?
I believe
Yeah.
that would
Get
be it.
people
Yeah.
stoked
Just-
about it.
Just, I love that idea, but just it's only August. Like, we can wait that long.
I know.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I flop back and forth on these things every time they do them because like they did I think 7 minutes of Dark Knight in front of I Am Legend. Like they showed you
Right.
like the bank scene.
Right.
And I remember like really being tempted by that. But man, Guardians is one of those movies that I should have stopped watching the trailers. Like I should have as soon as I saw the first trailer and heard that soundtrack and
Right.
I should have just shut it off and been like, I'm gonna love this. I need to step away from it.
It's oddly
But
enough
I
what I
haven't.
did, and I haven't watched a damn clip. I have their
They've-
Facebook
they've-
feed. Their Facebook page is on my feed, and they keep doing these giveaways and whatnot, and they keep putting clips up, and I'm always tempted to just push that play button.
Oh man,
it
it
looks so good.
I'm really excited by it.
But the thing is, though, it's not for people like us. 'Cause
This is
we're,
true.
We're going to go
Right.
out and see it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what they want to do is say, oh, here's 15 minutes, go see it. Then they want them to tell their friends and their friends.
Because there's a lot of people out there who
Don't know
even
who the
people who
Guardians
really love
are.
Marvel like Shauna, who's sitting here, has no fucking clue. And when you see a trailer that's got a talking raccoon and a big tree man, you're gonna go like even my mom, like I showed it to her because I was really excited. I was like, oh, you have to see this. You love Marvel movies. You're gonna love this thing. And she watched it and she was like, what? I was like, what do you mean what? It's got a talking raccoon and a tree man. Like what?
Right.
Why don't you love that? I don't understand why you don't love this.
You also just described what the doctor is going to repeat back to your mother when you are in the straitjacket. It's got a talking tree man and a raccoon.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I want to see it. I absolutely want to see it.
I'll see it. I'll always watch
those
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see them all the time, man. They're great. I love Marvel stuff.
Anyway, that's news. DVDs? Blu-rays.
Yeah, who gets fucking DVDs besides this guy?
I do.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. I even get like really specific. So
actually, it's funny. I know there's a movie that's coming out next week that I've pre-ordered.
Me too.
That I think. Oh, maybe it's the following week is mine. But tell us what's coming out, James.
I was going to say that I actually get like when I go to Digital Bits and open up what's coming out this week, I only open up the Blu-ray ones. I don't open the DVD ones because that just feels
what a
like
waste.
I don't give a shit about those. So the big one, the thing that I have pre-ordered is Book 2 Spirits of The Legend of Korra comes out this week.
Oh yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, is that what you pre-ordered?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, good. I should lend you the first season because
should.
It's amazing and you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't.
Or you should just watch the whole first series because, man, shit's good.
What is Book 2?
It's the second season of The Legend of Korra, which is
it's
the
so good
series.
that Zach's checking his phone right now.
Gotta check your message. Sorry, guys.
It's the sequel series to The Last Airbender. Which
the
also
Avatar
ties
thing.
in because that bullshit movie version that they made, Katara is played by the young woman who's in Transformers 17, The Dinosaurs of Extinction.
Oh.
So, anyway. The movie that I bet is what Ryan has pre-ordered, maybe, is Kindergarten Cop. It's a Blu-ray release.
It totally is.
Is that really?
Yeah.
And
it's
you're a great man for doing
that. It's like
that.
$10.
That's perfect.
Fuck yeah. I think there was only a trailer on it, but meh, what are you going to do?
First time I ever bought it on DVD was only $3 at Second Spin. So
it's a movie that you really have to enjoy in a high definition.
It is.
Are you kidding? Like they could make an opera out of it, and I'd still go.
No, the one actually the real one next week is Lake Placid.
Oh, that was such a good.
Is it a?
It's a Scream Factory.
Oh my god, that sounds awesome.
Actually, I was thinking of you because didn't you want Leviathan on Blu-ray?
I can't.
They're releasing it. Scream Factory is.
Oh man.
August, the end of August, I think, is when it comes out. I thought of you.
Yeah. Any of those movies with giant monsters or giant like animals in them, I kind of want to see. The first season of Helix, which is the Ronald D. Moore show, which I never saw. I don't think anyone did, but that comes out this week, so you might want to check that out if you're a big Ronald D. Moore fan. It's been long enough since I was sitting at the same table as Edward James Olmos that I can say that the last two seasons of that show were fucking garbage. And also there is a Blu-ray release of The Final Terror.
Yeah, that's a Scream Factory.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh my god, tell me about this movie. This is true. I thought it was.
I've never seen it, but there is. I sometimes don't get those ones right away because they're not their collector's editions. They still do a really good job of them. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But there's one that's coming out in the middle of July called The Evil Within, I think is what it's called, and it has this really badass box art for it, and it's a collector's edition. I have no idea what it's about, but or is it Without Warning? I think it's Without Warning.
I'm not sure. I haven't even heard of The Final Terror before. That's actually a film I've never heard of.
I know, so I order them because they're Scream Factories.
Yeah. I was going to say I actually have the what was the other, The Evil Within?
Mm-hmm.
I have that on VHS.
Yeah. Maybe it's Without Warning. I don't know. It's like this really big like monster alien and a Scooby-Doo van in the front.
Oh, this is
without title.
This is just a couple running away from some people. So I don't even know that
the
there's
Final
a
Terror.
Yeah,
They're walking away from text.
I'm not even sure that they're afraid. I think they're just like in a race.
The thing with
the Final Terror is that they don't win the race.
The
Scream
not so
Factory
amazing
Didn't
releases
finish the Boulder fuck.
original movie poster
Yeah.
art if they don't
It
do
is.
their own commissioned art for it.
Yeah, and it's funny because they split up the tagline. So at first I thought the tagline was just "Can anyone survive?" Which is an awesome tagline for a horror movie.
And also a good existential question for
Yeah.
philosophy majors.
Yeah, can anybody at all? Anyway, that's
I don't know,
DVDs.
can we
It's a
do
short
that?
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Cool. So this is the stuff we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
I'm gonna pet it like there's like some text in front of me on a screen.
Yeah. Usually when Ryan says that, he like waves his hand like Vanna
Yes.
White,
Like there's
like he's
text.
laying out a cheese platter.
Yes.
It's-
I won't lay out a cheese platter. I lay out a wing platter. What?
On your tombstone, it's going to say Ryan Frost. Deal with it.
All right, who's going first, Ryan?
Randy, how about you go first? Because me and Zach are probably gonna get really into discussions.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
yeah.
Well, so the first thing I did is I bought the full season, the complete season of Dexter.
On DVD.
Yeah.
The series.
On DVD.
Did you get that
Yeah, they're
badass
like
one
the
where
whole
it's like where it's
With the
inside the
wooden
blood?
box.
Okay, bought
it's
it on
cool.
eBay
Is it
for
pretty?
$60.
Fuck you.
That was including
Gonna
shipping.
break into your house for the cost of a crowbar.
I have a $1,000 firearm that will make sure you don't make
Shit.
it too far.
What if I
And
were
it's
to
resting on
convince you
top
to
of
give
your
it to me
comics.
through love?
You would really have to do some convincing.
It's mostly
Zach
just me
is
going,
willing.
please, 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 please.
$60 is a lot of love. Sir.
I know, but how does the design look in the inside? Because I only saw photos, but is it like detailed and everything? Like, do they?
Well, like what I didn't understand, I didn't catch it in the picture, was that apparently all they did was they just turned the discs red.
Oh.
And
enough.
so the disc goes in a little plastic case and it drops right down in there.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty clever. I like
It wasn't bad, but I mean, you could take any other, like it reminds me of the CDs.
Yeah.
Like it's just a little piece of plastic. You snap it in there, you drop it in there. You can
Yeah.
hardly read what it tells you because it's, of course, trying to put it against red.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, for what it was, I didn't pay a whole lot for it. But I watched the first 3 seasons. I pirated it off the internet, so I watched 4 through
Whoa.
8.
We don't suppose
So
piracy here, do
wait,
we?
so you're
No.
saying
Okay.
that because the cost of owning Showtime is preventative to actually watching the show, you pirated the show and then eventually actually bought the
Bought
show, supporting the show.
Correct.
James,
Oh,
the real North
Not really,
lawyer.
because he bought it on eBay, so it doesn't
Well, but
really-
still, he ended up spending money on the show. Like, you know,
did.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, interesting.
So I watched 4
Dude,
through
season
8.
4 though.
Great.
Well,
Michael C.
all of
Hall
them
now
are
can't
crazy.
afford his new
Andrew,
Lamborghini.
Andrew Bueno
What?
has that same argument about going to concerts and whatnot. Like he taught that to me. It was a good point of view.
Well, except that artists actually make all their money off of contests, concerts. So if you sneak into concerts, you're stealing money more than you would be by stealing music. Anyway, dude, John Lithgow. Can we talk about how amazing
God,
John Lithgow?
the
Like, has he-
Trinity Killer.
Yeah.
Oh
Has he
my God.
ever been
Big old bag of crazy.
so good?
He played that part so well. Like you just believed that he was like that kind of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I ran through 5 seasons in like 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd come home and throw one in, and as soon as it was done, I'd put in another. So that last 5 seasons just all merged together. But
Did you-
God, none.
Without getting into spoilers, how
Oh,
did you
yeah.
feel about the 5th season coming
Okay.
out of the 4th season?
Oh, I see.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
The fifth season is
fourth
the one
season
with
is
Jules-
Trinity Killer.
Right.
5th
Or not
season
Jules
is
State,
post Trinity Killer.
Oh yeah,
Immediately- yeah.
It was all right. It kind of I never expected.
Sean, are you watching the
Yeah,
show
yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
I never expected that to happen.
Right.
I felt a little underwhelmed by it, but it was still brilliant moves. Like I felt like they didn't make any faults in Dexter until the final season, really.
Right.
Yeah.
It made perfect sense once you watched it why he was so happy driving away in the car.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get
No,
it.
I
we're
had
not,
that-
we're
I
not
actually
saying
had that feeling
anything
too.
that's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think we're being
Shauna
just.
and Matt here. Like Shauna's on her. Like she's
She's
doing
like,
this,
please,
Yeah,
please
she's
don't
like,
on this
shut your
tense
face.
She's about
No.
to jump across the table.
Yes.
It's really funny, though, talking about John Lithgow. We were watching that season of Dexter while I was also watching Once Upon a Time, Alice in Wonderland, and he plays the White Rabbit. So having the
Oh.
Trinity Killer voice in my head and then having the White Rabbit voice in my head at the same time was ridiculous.
So, what season are you guys on?
We are almost done with 6.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
the
okay.
biggest spoiler in the entire series is behind you. Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
we can't do anything that's going to
Yeah,
really.
we can't do anything on that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right on.
But-
We saved the day, guys.
Right.
Real nerds
Thank
ahoy.
God for small favors, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Chips
that was,
Ahoy?
Chips ahoy. Nabisco.
so that was worth it though. Like I
Oh,
enjoyed it. It didn't. I don't know how to say it. It didn't end the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
So, but it was still worth it. Like
I don't
would
think
still
it ended
watch
the
it
way
all again.
anybody wanted it to end.
It's
Right.
I know. I've never watched an episode of Dexter. I've never watched an episode of The Sopranos. But I know that it's like people get
You
up
horrible devil.
No, people get up in arms about how those shows ended. I mean, it's because I have my pulse so much on pop culture that when stuff ends and people hate it, they're like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And they get like really pissed. And
That's how
People,
I felt about
like-
I love the way The Sopranos ended. I love I'm indifferent about the way Dexter ended. I hate the way Lost
really,
ended.
I thought
because-
Lost
well,
ending was beautiful.
I love.
I
Lost
couldn't
ending.
stand the
I-
ending to Lost.
you know
what?
That's because I didn't understand it.
Family Guy said it best. The title of that show is very appropriate.
Family Guy's never said anything the best, but I think that what happens is that people fall in love with a show and they feel like they own those characters in a way, and they know where they want it to go.
Right.
And so no ending is ever right for everyone.
Right.
And there are so many factors that go into like things that aren't necessarily what the writers want. The Sopranos is a perfect example. The Sopranos doesn't end the way the writers wanted to end it. It ends because they thought they might make a movie. I actually adore the ending of The Sopranos and think that show couldn't have ended any other way.
Oh, yeah.
And that we should talk about it sometimes because
Oh, yeah,
I think that it
absolutely.
re-encapsulates that whole show because you're never afraid for James Gandolfini's character.
Until
You
that
really
moment.
never are until that moment, and then suddenly you realize that he lived that way the whole 6 seasons or
I
however
know,
long it
I
was.
know.
That
And
it's a
it-
brilliant ending.
And it's that and when you do that cut to black, you think you're being cheated, but it's when I was younger, I saw the end of No Country for Old Men, and it cuts to black out of nowhere, and I was like, "What the heck?" And then as you get older, and also if you look at it retrospectively, you realize, "Oh no, yeah, I was tricked,
If
and
you
I was
actually
beautifully
listen,
tricked."
yeah, if you actually listen to what
that
he's
sucked.
saying,
I hated it.
oh my
Couldn't
god,
stand
oh my god, I
No,
love that.
wrong.
No.
Yeah, I felt that way, and then I saw the light.
Well,
I-
you said something bad about the Coen brothers.
It's okay because one
Yeah.
day you'll wake up too.
it. No.
Army of nerds,
No.
attack!
But see, that was a subtle reference to the end of that.
Yeah.
Not subtle at all.
No.
Cool. What else? What else?
Watched the new Riddick movie.
Oh God, why?
It was like $3.
Oh, well, that's
So,
fair.
again-
I think it's worth $3. I think there's some. I mean, except for like the horribly sexist bullshit in that movie.
I guess if
Well,
you're
other
going to
than
pay to
the
have
obvious.
a spoon stuck up your ass, $3 is pretty reasonable.
Well, it's like for me, if it's got enough action and enough
Yeah.
blood and guts or explosions, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
fair enough.
$3 is
Say again.
So you liked Transformers.
Save that for the review.
we're getting there.
Why isn't
but-
she taking the microphone? She's
I know,
clearly
it's like,
we are in range where she
Why
can
aren't
take
you
it.
giving up?
right.
Because I won't. I'm never gonna give it up.
Stop singing.
I won't.
Oh, desert you.
God damn it.
Let
you
down.
It took us 3 years to rickroll the fans.
Oh yeah, apparently. God. Oh Jesus.
So, did you like Riddick?
I did. It was okay. I mean, it was basically Pitch Black 2.
See, I don't think the character is that appealing.
I like him in Pitch Black.
I don't
But
know.
in Pitch Black, he's
And-
not an alien, and like
Well, yeah, you
and
don't
maybe
really
the thing
know
is
that
too
much
is I
about
don't
him.
think Vin Diesel can carry movies.
I agree with you.
I think he's great as a support. Like he's good in the Fast movies.
Yeah,
But
but he's not
right.
really the main character.
yeah, but and Pitch Black's okay too because he's not the focus
not
of
the
the
main
story.
Right. Again,
So,
it was everybody else.
which
No.
is what that movie is missing, right? Like
Yeah,
if it
yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
a story about somebody who is willing to kill all of these people at the beginning and then has to learn to die for them by the end.
Yeah,
Man, dude, Pitch Black's a fucking good movie.
and we have to see Katie
And it's
Sackhoff's
not-
boobs. And it's
Oh
like,
god.
yeah.
And she doesn't die. Does she die?
She's no, she actually.
No,
I
she
believe
rescues
Oh
him,
my
doesn't
god.
she?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm pretty
Yeah, she
sure it's
rescues
like her
him,
and
then gets a
him.
serious deep dick and then switches from being a lesbian. Yeah, that movie's fucking horrible. Oh
yeah.
man.
No,
Oh.
like the thing that got me the most about it, though, that I couldn't stand about it was, so, of course, he calls out a distress signal to bring in other ships. and then he disappears, and he writes in blood on the wall something like, just leave one of the ships and go, and I'll let you all live, or something like that, or you'll all die, or something like that. The ships are going on it. And so what's crazy is that 2 separate ships come down, they go hunting for him. When they finally get him, it's like he won't tell them, well, okay, there are these creatures, they're going to come out of the ground, they're going to kill us all, the whole planet's full of them. He just goes, you need to leave me a ship and go. It's like, well, you could have ended the movie and everybody would have made it if you'd have said, we all need to leave or you're all going to die. I'm all like, it was the dumbest thing ever because, 30 minutes into the movie, they could have ended it by going, just get us all on the ship before we all die because these creatures are coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
So he didn't do it. I was like, that was kind of lame. Yeah. The excuse for that was really lame.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
so. I think they wanted to go that route of trying to make it like Pitch Black and like maroon people on a planet with monsters, but then they never came up with an actually good story to tell you there, which is the problem, right? It's why Pitch Black is special. And
special?
Did you at least appreciate?
I really think it is.
Did you at least appreciate the fun of just like, we're seeing Vin Diesel fight things like that? I saw it. Like I don't understand the Riddick mythology worth a damn. I guess I just never cared, but. They just I just like watching Vin Diesel beat the shit out of things.
There should not be anything. There should not be a Riddick
Remember when
mythology.
he tried to beat up The Rock in Fast 5?
Remember when he tried to stand as tall as The Rock?
Yeah, and they lose this really horrible force perspective in Fast 6, yeah.
So I'm not saying that Pitch Black is an amazing movie, but I think it's special in that genre that most of the time it's just people get stranded and there's monsters, and Radha Mitchell's character, that story arc is actually pretty interesting. And
She's naked in the Underworld
I think those
movies.
Characters are the Underworld movies.
She's in the third Underworld.
No, that's Rona Mitra.
Oh.
Yeah, different woman.
Yeah, Radha Mitchell is in like...
Same thing.
She's in Man on Fire.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Denzel Washington one.
Yes, the
That's
Equalizer.
A cool movie.
Anyway.
When's Tony Scott's new movie coming out?
Oh my
god!
Oh my
god! Whoa!
Oh, holy shit! That's too...
Okay, James.
sorry, guys.
James.
So
now
Tony
you can
Scott's
let your
been
mother
dead
listen to
for 3
every one of my
years.
episodes because he just made
no
the worst
2 years,
joke.
something like that. That was bad. Oh man,
that hurt you.
Put that up
James?
on Twitter. See what happens.
Look, and I wasn't even the biggest Tony Scott fan, but like that was. Ugh. Anyway, Randy, you got anything else?
I rewatched Spider-Man 3.
Nice.
Because I heart Venom.
Okay,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's a good thing you're far enough away from Randy.
I'm going to be a dick here. So, are you a Spider-Man fan?
Define fan.
Hey, dude, he did not fall into your trap.
No, he did. That's why you like Venom. Oh.
What else? Ghostbusters 2 on VHS.
Nice.
Of course.
Really?
Anniversary came up recently.
So, do you think Spider-Man 3 is horrible?
No, I don't
think it is either. I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now, is he a Spider-Man fan?
No, he doesn't have to be one.
I don't have to be one. God,
not everybody can appreciate the greatest literary character of all time. It's all right.
You know what's really good about Spider-Man 3 is actually James Franco. I actually love
James Franco's arc in the Spider-Man trilogy is amazing.
It is. You were talking about Harry Osborn on the Spider-Man episode that we did.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. That Harry Osborn is a damn good character.
Yes.
I didn't realize that before. I had to like read a few books, but he's a damn good character.
If you pick up the trade paperback, The Son of Goblin, it has all his key issues, Harry Osborn's. Great trade paperback.
Can you get it for 20% off at Color Coins Comics?
You do.
Okay.
Awesome.
Because he'll have his first appearance because he never wanted to be the Green Goblin.
No, yeah, he just wanted to make his father proud.
You know,
it's a very relatable story.
I love when we bring this stuff up. One of my favorite moments in Spider-Man ever is.
I'm sorry, I opened the Kraken.
There you go. Is in the Child Within Part 6, the Green Goblin is trying to get Vermin to kill Spider-Man, and Spider-Man ends up defeating the Vermin. And then Peter says, "Fine, dude, just kill me if it really means that much to you." So Harry gets on his glider and he has the thing come out, and he comes down. Then he crashes on purpose, and he wants to know why he can't do it. And the last panel, Spider-Man says, "It's because you're a good guy," or something along the lines of that, and he goes away. See, it's awesome.
There you go.
Harry Osborn is a great character.
Love it.
How's the muffin? It's the best. Greatest line in any Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
no. Well,
It's
Yeah.
It is.
pretty good.
Just the way he delivers it.
That cooking scene is weird.
It is
Oh
weird.
yeah, that's right. The cooking scene. I forgot about that.
It's you know what? It's funny. Like there was a scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where it's that I do it all for you, and they're showing him
Yeah.
like going like, and he puts up that stupid sticky note, which is like, "Do I have to lose her too?"
Yeah.
But that was the equivalent to me of this new Spider-Man franchise's version of trying to be more or less relatable to quote-unquote normal people. Or at least people who aren't into comic books but are trying to like go there because their boyfriends like are dragging them there or something like that, or their girlfriends are dragging them there, whatever the case may be.
I still don't think Topher Grace is a bad Eddie Brock. People hate on him, but
I don't know why he was there, but
I don't
mean,
think-
I
I don't
like
think
watching
Venom should be in
Topher
the
Grace
movie.
try. It's just-
I thought it was okay.
I know it seems mean, but
No.
Yeah.
It's Anyway,
So the last thing I wanted to but didn't get it in yet was your guys' Blu-ray.
oh, you're really missing out.
you didn't
Yeah.
get us in yet, huh?
No. Well, it's unfortunately it's trying to find a Blu-ray player.
There's a DVD in it too.
I know, but I wanted
But
to
it-
try and experience it in Blu-ray.
Randy
man.
in
It does look
searching for
good.
Blu-ray.
You know what? I'll tell you this: if anybody wants one, we have a limited quantity left. They're $15. Just instant message us, or you can put money in our PayPal account. We'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But the DVD's resolution is almost as good as the Blu-ray. It looks really good.
It looks good.
Okay.
And the fucking blooper reel. It's an hour long, but I
It's
think it's
funny.
funny because I was there, so I kind of like remember those moments. But there's some pretty neat stuff back
There is.
Well, that's part
Not
of,
as many shots of me hitting Ryan or Brad with a car, though.
No.
I was really looking forward to that when we were getting to the end. But yeah,
But yeah, that was it.
cool.
James, what'd you watch this week? It better be something fucking good too.
Yeah.
See, I'm,
well,
mean
there
to
was
I'm mean to the host. You.
something mediocre,
Oh.
and then something just fucking god awful. But there's a couple quick things I want to run through. So I talked about the fact that Dan, my roommate, is watching through all the Alien movies, and I specifically wanted to sit and watch Alien Resurrection with him because I'm a masochist for one thing, and also because like I wanted to see how he experienced it, and then also explain to him why it should have been great. Because I still contend that while I find watching that movie really grueling, I think there's a lot of cool stuff in that. Like the ideas and what it's trying to do. Like Joss Whedon's actual script, I think, is really smart, and maybe one of the smartest sequels to Alien. It's just that the direction in that movie is fucking horrible. Everything that guy, well, not everything that guy does, but most of what he does just breaks the tension.
He doesn't
and-
understand the source.
Yeah. And he's able to make some
And
stuff
he's French.
gross,
Fuck that guy.
but like,
I mean, fuck that guy.
yeah, he just doesn't ever get the tension right. And the example I always use is the scene with the aliens in the water, right? Where the aliens are swimming in the water and it's super bright, and so you can see the aliens really well, which just kills the tension because it means that the aliens end up having to like swim around the water and never really attack our heroes because we know exactly where they are. There's not that like that sense that they could be anywhere.
Right, like
and then,
in Aliens, the
Right.
second one where Newt's in the water
yes,
and you don't see nothing.
Right.
The whole time you're expecting one to pop up out of nowhere, and then when you see the four little, oh my god,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And then that scene ends with them getting to the other side, and it's
James
covered in like that goo, right?
Yeah.
And you sort of you start to get the sense that like something's wrong, and then he
Right.
does this horrible shot where he pulls through the goo and shows you there's all these eggs on the other side,
Right.
Which totally kills the tension because there's still a few more minutes before they get through. And it would have been so much better. And the reason it's written in there is so that you film it so that they're struggling because they can't get oxygen. There's something going on the other side, and they break through, and then they realize what they've gotten into. Like, that's a cool sequence.
Right.
And that sequence isn't in the movie. There's this other bullshit that's really boring. So anyway, and then we also watched Prometheus following that. Dan had seen that before, but he didn't understand it because he'd never seen any of the aliens. And I still
I really want to get there.
fucking love that movie.
Do you have the 3D
Prometheus,
version?
I
of it?
liked it.
Yeah.
Do you have the 3D version of Prometheus?
James.
No, I don't.
No.
Because there's a whole extra Blu-ray that's like a 2-hour documentary.
I really want I want a director's cut because the extended ending is way better, and I think the There's a scene early on, the Guy Pearce scene, where with young Guy Pearce, I think is actually really important. And then, especially once you've seen the movie once, like, the reason I think they took it out was because they didn't want to spoil the fact that Guy Pearce was on the ship because of where the time, when it is in the movie. But once you've seen the movie and that's, you know that, like,
right,
I'd like a version where I can see that scene while I watch the movie.
Right.
And they'll never do it, but there's a CG version of the monster that comes on and attacks and kills all the guys in the garage that I think is way creepier than the one that they use in the movie. They went with the practical one because it's practical, but I think the CG one, like, he's big and bloated and like just looks fucked up as hell. So I would really like a director's cut of that movie, and they'll never do it. Maybe when they make the sequel, maybe when they make Prometheus 2, which apparently is still happening, even though the world is full of people who hate on that movie for all the wrong reasons. Give Shauna the mic. I'm picking a fight.
Yeah, Shauna, please, because I really want to say something, but my hate tank is very full right now. So you go ahead and.
I loathe Prometheus.
Why? But we need to know.
I felt like it was the biggest waste of time. The whole sitting through, I could never get those hours back. And there's only one other movie that's made me feel like that in my life, and that was Message in a Bottle. Made me feel like I could never get those hours back in my life.
Kevin Costner's Message in a Bottle
is comparable to Shauna as Prometheus.
That's the only
they're putting
other
that
movie
on they're putting that on the DVD cover of the director's cut that eventually comes out.
It's the only other movie I've ever seen that made me feel like I could never get that time back in my life.
Is Message in a Bottle like a really deep message about the juxtaposition between creation and death and what it means to meet your God? I don't think I've ever seen Message in a Bottle.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Oh,
look,
I'm
Ryan.
just telling you that I hate
those
about. Movies equally. I hate them for different reasons.
Ryan, fuck
but
Transformers. We're going to talk about
equally.
Message in a Bottle.
I'm sending an SOS to your heart. How many more 80s songs can we just fit into this podcast?
Every one of them. When we hit Duran Duran, we know we've reached the end of the show.
Some
Are you
of
sure
the
it's not
acting in Prometheus is incredible.
Yeah,
and
dude,
I can
Fassbender's-
absolutely yes, and he would be the one that I would point at. Michael Fassbender in Prometheus is amazing, and his performance is wonderful.
Yeah,
the story in the movie, the whole
amazing.
thing, nope.
Oh my
and
God.
the freaking previews with that
with the
annoying
squeal.
I hated it. We went to so many movies. We went to so many movies before that damn movie came out.
It's great.
I was ready to pull my hair out by the time I saw it.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing. That was one of the movies where I refused to watch the trailer, so I would look away every time the trailer happened. So all I heard was the sound.
I was the opposite, and I watched every clip because I'm not the biggest Alien fan, so I was trying to understand why everybody was getting like all hyped up about it. Andrew Bueno had a quote about Prometheus because we saw it on IMAX opening weekend, and he said this, and it's the best review of Prometheus ever. It's like two stoners were sitting down in a room alone with each other and going, "Hey, could God make a pizza so hot that he himself couldn't eat it?" And that to me summed up how I felt about Prometheus.
That's stupid.
No, it's not. It's actually it's very smart. That movie. Think about it.
No, because Prometheus is way more deep than that is. The Prometheus is the deep dish of pizza.
Okay, I was like, we're really going to get into a discussion, but no.
No, it was really just a pizza joke.
Literally, think about it, though. The guy, like, what's it? Numi Rapace's boy toy, whatever.
Yeah.
He's all butthurt because he didn't get to talk to God. You met God. Go back home and report it.
Right, but God was dead. Like that fucking that's what the movie's about. Like the movie is about they go like, oh my God.
It's not clear enough. If that's the point of the movie, it's not clear enough.
No. Then the problem is you don't like watching movies that make you think.
I'm
not kidding. I'm not kidding. I will fucking fight you, man. And this is it's the most frustrating thing about reading reviews of that movie because I feel like people came out of it and said, I don't know what the black stuff is. Clearly this movie is shit. Then take 5 seconds and think about it because the movie will tell you or you will figure it out yourself.
See, the black shit in Prometheus is a symbiote and it latches onto the host's skin.
Okay. then to you, that's what the black shit is.
And that's
to
what
me,
made
it's not.
Spider-Man 4 fail in development.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you on the terms of the themes and whatnot. I just felt like the way they took the characters and dialogue and term, it just didn't click for me. Like it didn't feel effective enough.
Yeah.
Like and it's not to say it's a bad movie. I agree with Shauna here. Michael Fassbender gives a great performance. I thought Charlize was good. I thought that Luther, what's his face, Idris Elba, was great in the flick. There's great elements of that movie. I just felt like I was underwhelmed by what I was expecting based off of the anticipation.
Yeah.
So maybe that ruined it for me.
See,
I haven't seen it since theaters.
All I had, because I wasn't watching the trailer, I'd seen the trailer once and then I never watched it again. So all I had was the fact that for me, Alien is definitely in my top 20, probably in my top 10 movies of all time. I adore that movie. It's wicked smart for being basically a monster flick. So Pitch Black is not Alien, but what I mean is it's special in that it's in the same league, which is crazy. But I mean,
what the fuck did you just say?
They're both movies that have more of a story to them than just being a monster flick. And Alien is, to me, more about those characters and what that movie is really doing than the monster and being afraid of the monster. So all I had was that, and so all I came out of it was the questions that it leaves me with. And those questions to me were way more important than whether or not the fucking ship landing and rolling actually makes sense.
Than anything that any trolley nerd on the internet can say against it. Like,
right.
I have no disrespect for that. Like anybody who loves a movie, I respect that.
Hey guys, let me say a little thing.
Except for Birth of a Nation, that's
when
a
you
little
come
weird
on
to
to Real
love.
Nerds, if you diss Prometheus or Matthew McConaughey, James will fight you. So.
No, I'm not fighting Sean at all.
I know, and I can just say I don't have the emotional connection or passion for Alien that you do. So at the end of the day, I would never feel the same about Prometheus, and I would never get as worked up positively about it. But I can say that some of the performances are awesome. Other than that, I never want to see it ever again.
Do you at least remember the opening scene? Because the opening shots with just that music, and then pre-people Earth, and then you just that shadow of the spaceship. Can we just say that all of that is gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Okay, good. All right, then you and I are friends.
I went into the movie positive. I sat down and I enjoyed it for probably the first 30 minutes.
Cool.
And then I got bored.
Okay, that's fine.
Everybody, we just avoided World War III.
We did. So really quick, since that blew up, I'll run through the rest of this because we're getting long. I've sort of jumped on the Star Trek train. I started watching actually the original series a little bit, and that's awesome. Man, we were actually talking to Uncle Corm at DCC, and he was talking about the fact that he's been watching it with his kids, and they've done this thing. If you watch it on Netflix, they're showing you the version where they've put in CG versions of the ship, and they don't look like super modern CG. It's not the best, but it at least gives you more of a sense of what the ship is doing, and it's actually kind of cool.
It doesn't, it doesn't interrupt with the flow of it. It actually looks, in a weird way, it homages the cheesiness.
Totally, yeah.
That's
the
actually
ship's
for
sort of
they did that for syndication for Spike. That's why.
Oh, really?
That's why they did. Well, that and the remastered HD DVD releases back when that was still a thing.
Yeah.
Before Blu-ray took over the market. That's why they did it.
Because the ship still kind of moves like the models would have, but it
moves
doesn't
at the same pace too, and everything the lasers look all nice. It's just it's
and the shots are at least
it's
different.
like next generation effects.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Exactly. I watched two new things this week. I saw a little movie called Tiny, which it's an hour long. It's on Netflix. It's one of those things they've been promoting. And it's just about this guy building a tiny house. So tiny houses are the size of the room that we're sitting in, and usually they're built on a trailer. And he bought some land out in Colorado, and he's my age, so in his mid-20s or young 20s. Sorry, Randy, you just started laughing at me. And he just decides he wants to build his own house, and he builds a house on this trailer. And then it also interviews people around the country who live in tiny houses. And it was honestly really interesting. And when it was over, I kind of wanted to get rid of half of my shit and be like, I don't need all of this. But then I went and bought a bunch of shit at Walmart, so I guess it didn't stick.
The perfect place.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, I need fucking more hooks to put shit on because I got so much shit.
You're kind of like Randy in South Park when he discovers the Walmart. He's just like, I know, but I had to go out late at night. These stickers were $3 for $1.
And then the last thing was I saw Wall Street for the first time. I've never seen Wall Street. Which I've never been a big Oliver Stone fan. And this movie doesn't really change my mind. So it's good. I think I understand why people like it. It just
the performance of Michael Douglas makes the movie because
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
that is the movie.
again
the performances all overall
yeah,
are all
Charlie
great.
Sheen's good in it too. But the thing with Oliver Stone is his movies are just so heavy-handed. Just like, dude, you're so obnoxious.
He's got an opinion, and it's very, very loud.
It is
Right.
Why can't you just make an entertaining movie, dude?
And it's one the difficult thing here is it's not funny like The Wolf of Wall Street. So all I'm left with is a character I don't actually like.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 20 minutes, then as things start to turn and go, and he has to make some serious decisions, then it gets interesting. But I have to sit through an hour and a half or an hour, whatever it is, of a character making decisions that I know are wrong, that I know are going to come back to bite him, and then I'm supposed to root for him when he finally realizes he's been dumb the whole movie. Like, it's just tough for me. And it's not that I can't like a movie that does that. It's just that one doesn't do it well.
Does that scene, there's a scene in Wall Street, if anybody doesn't know the progression, it's been, close to 30 years, spoiler alert.
No.
Gordon Gekko's protege, Bud Fox, gets caught within a security scam. I can't remember the exact crime, but the scene is that he gets taken by police in his stock brokerage firm, and he's taken away, and he starts crying, and it's a weird... I don't know what to make of it, because it's just like, on one hand, you can look at it and think, like, oh, this is a character who's just truly afraid about what's about to happen. He truly thought he wouldn't get caught. On the other hand, it also kind of looks like Oliver Stone just wanted to put one little bit of sympathy to otherwise create a mockery of the current, the then and now current Wall Street environment.
It's interesting you picked that scene because I don't understand that scene.
I don't either.
As it was happening, I was like, why the fuck is he... Like, this seems completely out of character.
It's such a random, it's a random acting / directing choice. It's a very, very... It's a fine line to decide you're going to tell your story that way. And, I mean, I love Oliver Stone's films. I love JFK, I love Platoon, and I love the movie Talk Radio. I think Talk Radio is an underrated classic. But you're talking about a moment where this character who has done very, very horrible things, there's enough to make him relatable, but not enough for us to really feel sympathy when he cries.
Absolutely.
There's not enough there.
Yeah.
Not, at least in my opinion, but...
No, I agree. Zach, what have you seen lately?
What have I seen? Bud Fox crying, and I also saw myself crying in the mirror when I remembered that. I did a marathon, and then I watched 2 movies after that. The marathon that I did, and I really hope people start following me on Facebook, which will eventually start becoming a blog. I know Randy does.
I do.
I went through the entire Halloween series, and this was inspired by being on the podcast. I went through every one of them. Every day was a Halloween movie, followed by Halloween extras and bonus goodies. And I had a big bag of popcorn. It was awesome. The first movie still rocks. And then after that, it's kind of like Wile E. Coyote falling down a shaft. And we're just... It's
an interesting film series. It really is, because the first one is so not just in the horror circle.
It's a thriller. It's a thriller.
Yeah, it's not a slasher movie.
It's one of the few horror movies from those big franchises that I have seen and genuinely kind of enjoy.
Well,
I appreciate it.
It's not really. See, I don't really. I guess it's a horror film in a sense, but it's not. And it gave birth to slashers.
It gave birth to Jason. The only reason Jason exists is because of Michael.
But it's weird because the first one, it's more too of like a psychological thriller because Michael kills 3 people in the movie?
Yeah. Okay, so he kills. He kills more than 3, but it's under 10. That's
it's way less. It's
at least 5.
His sister.
It's his sister. And then the truck driver who had the mechanic suit, or the mechanic who had the mechanic suit that he gets, because you do see him off screen dead.
Yeah.
And then it's
PJ
the dog,
Souls.
and then
well, the dog
Annie.
doesn't count.
Dogs are humans.
You're cheating.
So it's Anne, and then
Annie, then Linda, and then he tries to go after Lori. So it's
4.
That's about
4.
4. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I say it's not, and there's not very much blood in that movie. It's really it's the power of John Carpenter's direction and his misdirection in it, because you swear you see Michael just rip these people apart.
Right.
Bob.
The boyfriend.
Yeah, Bob.
The boyfriend's a great scene.
Go get me a beer.
Well, and it's the way he makes that street feel so claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Which is the Steadicam, right? So like,
yeah.
The Steadicam had been
It's
invented within a year before that.
It's just that constant flow. One of the most
and those
beautiful
shots where he runs across the street.
One of the most beautiful sequences of. I personally think film history in general. A lot of people touch on this film called Touch of Evil.
Yeah.
There's a 15-minute opening credit sequence and whatnot. Now, Halloween doesn't do it at that length, but it was an homage to it. I say it's on par. It's the opening shot where Michael kills his sister.
Oh yeah.
I'm still to this day. One of the things that I loved about watching the first Halloween again, especially years later, is that I'm still scared by this movie. I am still truly terrified by that movie. Like every time I walk outside of watching a movie like that effective and that powerful, I'll see Michael down the street. And maybe it's just my affinity and affection towards it from years of watching these films, but I'm still freaked out by it. When you get into the sequels, however, it becomes more or less what the Jason movies have become. Because I just started my Jason marathon, so stay tuned for that. But
the second one.
The second one is powerful.
It has moments.
Yeah,
it has moments.
I still think that's a powerful story too. I still think that it's a good story. The problem is that it's very aware of what it's doing.
That too, and it was seduced by Friday the 13th because why is there that big breasted chick taking a bath in?
Oh yeah, because there's no nudity in the first one.
No, there is. Oh, there is. But that's teenage kids.
Anything you like?
Yeah, but that's teenage kids, whatever.
Right.
But
and it's the 80s.
And it's the 80s. Right. But in Halloween 2, Zach's right. They're really aware of these tropes that Friday the 13th really exploited. And so now it's there's this huge breasted girl going into the jacuzzi in the hospital with the lights off.
But she doesn't seem like some stupid bimbo that just comes out of the woodwork. Like Pamela Shoop's, actually does a good job in doing that role.
I agree, but it seems unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. The way her boyfriend dies, Bud, I thought that was funny. Just showing him off screen getting beaten off. There. Then you get into the third one. The third one has nothing to do with Michael, but I will say that I thought it was a very good. Obviously, it's a very good. Throwback to the Quatermass films, which is a series of horror chronology, but I thought it was just
it's super cheesy.
Yeah, but
and then Tom Atkins fucks that 18-year-old. It creeps me out every time I see it.
Look at it as if though it is a very expensive but very poorly written version of the Twilight Zone.
I guess
that's how I saw it, and I know it sounds like justification, but I do think that there's something about it that's. All those elements, as cheesy as they seem, Halloween 3 is just a fun, not a slice and dice horror movie, but it has the elements of it. What's interesting is that it doesn't have the elements of a slasher movie that make it obvious. They're doing it through the television.
This week is also the week that the Twilight Zone movie was released. Just throwing that out.
And when John Landis killed all those kids. Never dropping that. I'm never dropping that issue. But no.
Steven Spielberg never did.
No.
I'm not. Steven Spielberg refuses to talk to John Landis because of it. I'm not.
Oh yeah. I don't.
True.
I don't blame him.
No.
I love Landis. I think he's a good director. He was irresponsible in that.
Yeah.
And but what do I know? I'm 23. I'm sure I've made tons of mistakes. Now, no. Okay, fine. I'm better than John Landis.
Okay, there you go.
Zach Eastman officially better than John Landis at something. And then you get into the fourth and fifth and sixth.
Fourth one I think's great.
Yeah, I'm clumping them together though because they're part of what I call the choose your own adventure path. And the first choose your adventure path is that Laurie Strode died and she had a daughter that we didn't know about and we didn't know who she married and fucked for this purpose to get that kid. But I think that in those three films, Donald Pleasance gives his best performances in the series. By far in the fourth one, there's that scene. The fourth
one is amazing.
You know that scene where he hitches a ride with the guy in the truck, and he's just like, "You want that built of whiskey?" And he's just like, "Yeah." You can tell right there. Obviously it's a horror film, so the acting choices are obvious. But it's just seeing him drink that swig of whiskey. I'm kind of I'm really starting to get on Loomis's side here and being like, I'm tired of hunting this monster.
Well, because even the scenes leading up to it, where he's kind of seeing the carnage. Is
the gas station?
Yeah, is great.
Oh, the gas station. That was a beautiful. Oh, Michael, die!
Yeah, Michael.
And then the fifth one, which was also directed by a French person, since we were talking about French directors, clearly don't understand how horror works in America, I guess. But the problem with the fifth movie is that honestly, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's the character of Tina, and she is just the most miserable, horrible, like unbearable bitch of a character I've ever seen in a movie. Period, horror or not. I have no sympathy for this person. Well, I've had sympathy for people in M. Night Shyamalan movies. I have never had any sympathy for this character ever.
Well, the problem,
and when she died, I'm not going to lie, I chuckled my ass off.
In 5 and 6, they try to give a backstory to Michael, why he's this way.
Right.
And it's not necessary. Why the first one's so effective is because when Loomis shoots him and he falls out of the balcony
because
and he's
pure
gone,
evil. That's all it is.
It's scarier than he has a thorn tattoo.
That thorn. Okay, so we're going to get into 6, which was written by Daniel Farrens, who is a very good horror documentary director, I might add. I don't hate what he tried to do. My problem with that only stems off of the fact that it disrespects John Carpenter's intention. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to make a horror series this extensive, you might as well, give an explanation.
You got to take chances.
Yeah. But as we've said before, and I need to review the producer's cut again because I still can't get access to it online anymore, but they're releasing it finally in September in a very lovely and masturbatory-worthy box set that they're going to be releasing by Anchor Bay and Shout Factory. Then you get into the 7th one, which I feel is the best of the sequels. That's my personal favorite of the sequels because it's
a horrible name.
Blood is, no, you know what? I didn't even mind that subtitle. I hated the tagline, "Blood is thicker than water." I'm like, why? Out of anything you could do, But I felt that Jamie Lee Curtis gives a very strong performance, a very brave performance. It's her Ridley performance. It really is, and I really appreciated that she got to do it. And then we get to Halloween 8. The Curse of Busta Rhymes. And
remember when he fights Michael Myers in a burning down garage?
Black Chun-Li!
Black Chun-Li or Bruce Lee, I forget what he said.
Oh my God, it's.
But you know what? There is some effective moments in that movie.
There are the scene where the film nerd gets killed. First of all, I think is hilarious because all film nerds should die, but not really. Not really. No.
And the show is over.
This has been Real Nerds.
I thought I was going to end the show in a second when I say that I think Busta Rhymes can be a good actor, but you killed it way early.
Oh, no, it's fine. And also I thought the first 15 minutes with Laurie, I actually thought that was an appropriate death for Laurie Strode. I just felt cheated that it was a first. Like I thought that the first 15 minutes of the movie was the movie, and then the rest of it was just blooper reels and footage they shot with people who had visited the set. Then you get into the remakes, and I'm going to make it brief on this because there are 2 films that I do want to talk about. The remakes, I think Rob Zombie does a good job of trying to, capture a sense of it while keeping it his own. I think that the problem is that he's too serious about it. I think he misses the point of, he tries to give too much of an explanation to Michael to the point where it becomes belabored and it feels like we're watching some really crappy family drama in a weird way. That does not take away from the fact that both of those movies are still very effective horror films. I think that really, honestly, is my only problem with his remakes.
Really mine's his wife.
Yeah, you know what? I like her in
not
the
be
movie
in
The
those,
Lords
and
of
that'd be
Salem.
okay.
I didn't like her in the Halloween movies, but I love her in The Lords of Salem. And
I mean, you're going to spar over that one.
we'll fight in the backyard, and then.
Well, like I said, I'll make this brief too.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with him, with his wife, is everybody in his movies is subjected to violence on extreme levels.
Yeah.
Danielle Harris in the Halloween remake is sexually assaulted by Michael Myers in a way because she's having sex with her boyfriend. She's running around topless, covered in blood. Michael's knocking her all over the place.
Yeah.
His wife in Lords of Salem is, there's her butt crack, and he never lets that happen to his wife. And to me, it's so glaring that he protects her. Even in Halloween, the remake, she's a stripper, but she's never naked. But he's willing to allow
and it's
other
funny.
people get sexually assaulted and stuff. And it really, that's my only problem. And she's not a good actress, so there's no excuse for her to to be that way. You know what I mean?
Well, one right and one wrong for me. I agree with you. He does never show her being accosted. Devil's Rejects kind of, but
not really.
even it's more of just the chair sequence when they're all strapped down and they're all being tortured by the sheriff.
It's not a nudity thing. It's more of what he's willing to put other actors through.
Yeah.
But he's not willing to subject his wife to.
And that's a very good point. And I had never thought about that before. Actually, that's very fascinating to think about in terms of like. Because she always kind of seems like an anti-hero in his eyes.
Exactly, and she's always so integral to his movies. Lords of Salem, she's the main character. In Lords of Salem, he has 69-year-old Meg Foster walk around nude, covered in blood, getting slashed, diced. Dee Wallace, the same thing. But his wife, meh. At the end, she's some weird fucking descendant of the Salem witches or whatever the fuck it is. It's a stupid movie.
We'll have to do a separate review on that because that's a film you could talk about for a long time. But there is a film that I want to talk about now. But there's a film that I saw, and I'm going to be very, very honest. I am all about filmmaking. I am all about expressing your art and expressing your passion. But there's a man out there named John Green, and he has my extreme distaste and displeasure. Because he wrote a book that I read prior to this film being released, and I did see the movie as it was released. It's called The Fault in Our Stars. I'm going to say this up front because I posted something about this on Facebook about 3 weeks ago, and I got shit rained on me like none other. I am not against a story that encourages cancer patients. I am not. I am against somebody making shitty romance movies. I hate Nicholas Sparks. I hate Nick Cassavetes and the movies that he does because he's done some Nick Spark movies. I do not understand why we have to continue to let movies like this happen, and I'm not offended by the whole making out in Anne Frank's house scene. I'm not.
Whoa, what happens?
What? Yeah, spoiler alert. The most romantic part of this story is that they feel brave enough to make out in Anne Frank's house.
That's what that house is for. Yeah, like,
I know there's a lot of context on it, but it's just like if that's a person's idea of being extreme and outright, because the point of John Green is that he's trying to be very clever and be very sarcastic. And I love that. I love people being meta, and I love it. And there's portions of that book that are very well written. I don't like the idea that he's still pushing that at the end of the day, this girl, all she needs is a man. That's still what it comes down to. All she needed was that man, in my opinion.
That's not what she needs at all.
That's what I felt that he was trying to push out, and that's especially what the film portrays. That's what the film portrays.
Haven't seen the movie, but I finished the book 2 nights ago, so it's very fresh. It's not that she needs a man. That girl, her whole character progression at the very beginning of the book, she doesn't want any close connections with anybody. She feels guilty about her family.
Shut up for a second.
Because she knows that she's going to die, and she has this whole thing about not wanting to be a real person, really. She calls herself a grenade. She doesn't even call herself a living thing. She doesn't want to be connected to anybody.
Fair enough. No,
and the whole process of the book is her realizing that just because she has an expiration date that's a lot sooner than the rest of us doesn't mean that she has to deny herself the close experiences of falling in love, of being close with her family, of recognizing that her parents will have a life after she dies. And it has nothing to do with that she needs a man, because at the end of the spoiler alert, she loses him, and she goes on, and she's fine, and she moves.
He died of cancer?
They're
both
kids.
cancer
they
patients.
meet at Cancer Kids Support Group, but he's in remission.
I thought it was like, okay.
And it's this whole huge reveal that he is he's healthy in the beginning, and by the end of the movie, he's had a relapse and he passes. And
see, I didn't know. I just knew she had
cancer.
Of
her realizing that she thought she was a grenade, and there's this line in the book where she says she realizes that she's falling in love with a grenade, and that whole idea to her, that whole thing of loss and being able to confront your mortality and still being able to move on and experiences the things in life that every person should have the opportunity to experience. That's what the book is about. The book is not about getting the man.
Snap.
Okay, that's fine.
That was good.
Here's my rebuttal then. I read the book about a year ago, so when I saw the movie, my memory of the book was more or less, had faded. There's things that pop up, but the movie does not, in my opinion, it does not portray that message. Because I understand what you're saying. Yeah, she falls in love with a live grenade. It explodes in her face. She has to deal with that and move on. But
But the thing that makes that significant is that she was holding him at arm's length when she thought she was the grenade.
That's not how they portray it in the film, though, and that's
like I said,
and that's
haven't seen the movie,
yeah.
But the original story has a lot more to it.
And that's where it is. Like, I'm not saying that John Green is a bad writer. He's clearly got a good writer who knows how to, present his version of the world the way he wants to see it. I think I'm more or less upset with the fact that Hollywood is taking it and putting down the Nick Sparks route. There's no denying he wrote a decent story. The problem is the way they're treating it. I love Shannon Wadingadong. I can never pronounce her name.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah. I love her to death in The Descendants, and I saw Divergent, and I loved her in Divergent. My only problem with her performance in the film is that she is subject to this idea of how do we sell this movie. Because the story, as you just discussed, it's not a conventional story, and it's certainly not one that can be sold. But how do you sell it? Oh, by giving people, schlock on stuff like that. Now, that works for some movies. That works for something like Sharknado. It does not work for something that is supposed to be about cancer patients, feeling a true connection and truly recovering. And the whole Anne Frank scene, honestly, that's just more of a personal thing. I think it's kind of weird that you'd want to make out in Anne Frank's house. That's just me talking. That's me. Like, I say a lot of dirty things on this podcast, but I still think that's offensive. Now,
you started by saying you didn't think it was offensive.
The context around that
I know.
Is it's the first time she breaks down enough to let him help her.
I know.
And she nearly passes out from the exertion of having to climb the stairs. We're talking about a girl.
I know, but why couldn't it have been Hitler's house or something like that?
I think that might be worse.
No, at least you're just like, yeah, we're sticking it to Hitler.
The first moment that she's able to show any sort of vulnerability and admit that she's falling for this kid when she's refused to do so, just so happens to be there. And the book addresses the whole thing like, hey, we're in Aunt Frank's house. This is kind of weird. But the context around it is a little bit more than they just walk into Anne Frank's house and make out.
Would you recommend the book, Shauna?
I would recommend the book.
You seem very passionate about it.
I read it in a night. It took about 4 hours.
Very cool. Good. So, guys, also read books, okay?
Wow. Can she be my anti-hero when you're gone in September? Or no, I'm sorry, my villain or something like that. I'll bring her on like every week just to be like, no, you're wrong because you're a man. No. I'm sorry. Like no, that was generalization. I honestly I don't disagree with you. I don't think at heart the story is bad. My problem is that we're dealing with, you're dealing with a very serious subject, and I think that, at least from the Hollywood perspective, it mistreated it. I may have to reread the book, because maybe the story has more merit, and maybe in the hands of a better filmmaker or somebody braver to take the chances that the book can take, maybe then it would have been better. But since we discussed that for so long, that's all I've watched this week.
All right.
Finally, fuck. Am I the host of this show or not? Is anybody watching 24?
Yes, my roommate Dan.
It's awesome. So anyways, I'll just tell you this one really awesome Jack Bauer moment. So
also my parents.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it turned them onto the whole show. They're watching it on Netflix.
So in the new one, this terrorist is an English terrorist who married an Al-Qaeda member, and the United States killed her husband with a drone attack. So she hijacked all these drones in the United States drones, and now she's going to hit targets all over London. And in the previous episode, Jack Bauer and the President of the United States, sacrifices himself so she won't kill anybody else in London. There's literally a scene where a missile hits the President of the United States and it blows up.
Holy shit.
And then the next episode, you find out that Bauer is able to reprogram it, so it's like a loop. So the President really wasn't there, and she finds out, but she's crashed 5 of the 6 drones. And then she finds out the President's still alive. She's like, oh, fuck this guy. So she gets the drone. She's going to fly it to Waterloo Station and kill thousands of people. So Jack gets there just before the time the drone gets there, and he throws her son out the window, and he splats on the ground.
Oh, snap.
And then she says, what are you doing? No, you're going to have to live with the regret of all the people you kill. He's like, nope, just one. And he grabs her and throws her out the window. I'm like,
Just the one.
And then he pilots the drone into like the river, and it blows up. It's awesome.
Oh my god!
So yeah, don't fuck with Jack.
Is it the same window, or does he find another window? Oh, okay.
Well, no, 'cause
it would have been better if he like purposely throws her through a different window.
Well, no, he's rappelling down because they find out their location, and the son sees him like I don't know what the son's doing. He's like sees him on the outside, and then Jack just jumps through and like grabs him and throws him out, and then he handcuffs her, and then she has this like big like villain monologue, and a lot of the shows are like, yeah, take him away. Nope, Jack throws her out the window.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yep, don't fuck with Jack Bauer. I watched just a couple things this week. There's a movie called Nurse 3D that came out. It stars some girl from Boardwalk Empire or whatever, and it's supposed to be some slasher movie. And my wife says, "Oh, let's see that. Looks cool." And I said, "All right, let's get it." It was horrible. It's an interesting premise.
Is this a movie? Is the cover a naked woman covered in blood with a nurse's hat?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I got it on Amazon.
Just the cover.
On Amazon, she's like riding a syringe like a bomb, like
like Tank Girl style.
Yeah.
Weird.
Anyways, in it, she plays this nurse who kills men who are married that cheat on their wives, and so, but it's stupid. Anyways, they try to make it like sexy, and she always like has no pants on sometimes when she's killing them, and
yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It's stupid.
I don't need to put on pants to murder douches.
All you have to know is it's exploitive. It's a lot like Friday the 13th Part 5, where you're getting what you're getting in a Friday the 13th movie, but it's still gratuitous and it's stupid.
That's the one that's directed by the porn guy.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's a one scene Judd Nelson's in it, and he's a doctor who like sleeps with all the nurses, of course. And so
all
she
you had to do was say Judd Nelson.
So she straps him to this gurney in the morgue, and then she undresses everything. She leaves her bra on, but she takes her pants off, and then she chops off his arm. I'm like, well, why are you getting naked? I don't get it. There is only one effective scene where she kind of gets discovered who she is, and she goes into like the terminal patient ward and starts like murdering everybody in there, and it's pretty effective and creepy.
Because everybody who's terminal is having
their day is already shitty.
Oh shit!
But then it just you have to watch it for an hour and 10 minutes before it gets there. What else did I watch this week? I watched The Descent. I don't know if you've ever seen The Descent. It's a great horror film.
Yeah, the Mole People movie.
Yeah. It's directed by Neil Marshall. He also did a movie called Dog Soldiers, which you should check out if you haven't seen it.
Dog Soldiers.
But it's about these girls who go spelunking in a cave. And it starts off as kind of this drama about one of the friends is cheating with one of the other girls' husband, but they die in this horrible. Her husband and her daughter die in this horrible car accident after this rafting trip. So a year later, they get together to go spelunking in this cave, and there's this really big tension throughout the thing. And then it turns out there's like vampire people in this cave, and it's pretty awesome.
It is.
You should definitely check out The Descent. And the last thing I watched was Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Oh, this is the one we've been waiting for.
Here's the thing: this movie has no identity.
Yep.
It's directed very well by William Shatner. There's funny moments between him and Bones.
That's the one. It starts with the camping trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Captain,
great.
Probably
life
the
is
best
not a
part of the
dream.
movie. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Then you have row, row, row your boats.
Yeah.
I love
when
how
he says that line. It can only be complimented by the way the Riff Tracks guys did it, which was Captain, life is not a dream. There are a lot of moments in that movie like that.
It's a really fascinating movie, and I was totally on board with it until they're like, we're looking for Gade.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
That's a little bit of a what?
And again,
not every movie about looking for God is good.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is I still love the performances. I love the relationship between Kirk, Spock, and Bones. I really do. I still think it's great in that movie, but the movie doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it going to be a serious movie where people are actually trying to discover their existence and is there a greater being in the world, or is it some silly slapstick comedy with the guys from the Enterprise? Plus, you throw in the fact that there's Klingons who just want to fight because Kirk, he does things like Klingons constantly, and it's really inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole movie is just inconsistent.
And then really anticlimactic. You may not know this, but they ran out of money. So there is supposed to be an action scene with a rock monster at the end of the movie. It is just not there. It's actually if you've ever seen Galaxy Quest, that's what they're referencing. And so it sort of just ends.
Yeah, but then I get a movie where some holographic god is shooting lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, it just falls apart.
Yeah.
And so I've seen all the original Star Treks now, and that's probably my least favorite.
It's probably the worst of all of them, even Next Gen. The only argument I would make is I think that Nemesis is worse, but only if only if you grew up watching that show or watched the entire series, because I think it betrays the characters more than 5 does. But yeah, it's bad. It's a bad.
Yeah,
movie.
so I'll try to watch all the Next Gen this week. I think there's only 4 of them.
There.
And then I'll write an article about my journey through Star Trek, because I've never been a Star Trek fan, so it's been really interesting watching them. Yeah, that's what I watched this week.
I'm so excited for you to see First Contact. You're gonna be, and that's the thing.
You're gonna have some. You're gonna have fun. Yeah,
you're gonna go into this and like
Do you
Generations.
know anything about it going in? Do you
Nope.
know anything about
No.
it? Good.
Yeah,
Don't know anything.
Generations you will really appreciate and probably really enjoy. Then you'll go into First Contact and be like, holy fucking shit, Star Trek can be cool. And then Insurrection, you'll be like, okay, all right.
And then just
You
skip,
should probably just stop.
Yeah, just skip Nemesis. Don't even.
No, you have to watch it.
No, I will.
'Cause I
You know
won't.
how
In fact,
everybody in school told you to try, Ryan? Don't try with this one.
Honestly, actually, I'm going to watch Nemesis this week.
Cool.
So if you watch Nemesis, we can talk about it next
I
week.
will.
Because I haven't seen it since theaters.
So I've never seen. That's the only one I never watched.
Are you a big Star Trek Next Gen fan?
Got them all on VHS.
Yeah, you. You might want to skip it.
I had no intentions of.
Yeah.
Cool. So this week we went and saw Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Guys,
Randy?
we're finally going to talk about Transformers.
Yeah. Should people find a Transformer? Should people go see Transformers?
I think people should. I would definitely avoid the 3D.
Zach, should people go see Transformers: Age of Extinction?
I'm really going to keep this short because my opinions are going to extend past the trailer. I will say this: go watch it, go see it in 2D, just have some fun.
James?
I like Transformer movies. I like Michael Bay's big, hyperbolic, crazy universe where nothing really makes sense, but it's all big and bombastic. And so I do think that if you like those movies, you should see this one, and you should probably see it in 3D, because why the fuck not? It ought to be big and stupid.
This movie is a fucking mess. It's horrible. It's incoherent. The lines, the motivations for characters are not good. Here's the shitty trailer for this shitty movie.
This is the greatest advance in modern physics since the splitting of the atom.
A rare metal, molecularly unstable.
It's what they're made of.
Bring it up! All the way! You guys have never seen a truck like this before.
Dad, you can't keep spending money on junk.
I don't think it's a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer.
I'm gonna ask you this once. Where is Optimus Prime?
After all we have done, humans are hunting us. But I fear we are all targets now.
What is that?
Who sent you here? This is not war. It's human extinction.
faith, Prime. Maybe not in who we are, and who we can be.
I'm not leaving my dad.
We need a new army.
So basically, Mark Wahlberg is like an American Picker, and he goes to like this.
He's way dumber than American Pickers.
Yeah, he goes to this theater, and he's like, "Hey, you, what you got?" And then he throws a football, and T.J. Miller's in it saying unfunny lines. And then,
T.J. Miller, I like T.J. Miller.
Shut up,
fuck
shut
you
up,
guys.
Shut up.
Tell me a good line. Tell me a good line he said in that movie.
I
Yeah,
can't remember because
fuck
he
you.
dies. You know what? He dies in the first 15 to 20 minutes
No, he
of a
doesn't.
3-hour
No,
movie.
he does in the first hour of a 3-hour movie.
Okay, fair enough. It still
it's
felt
a long
like
time in there.
in the grand scheme of his character, it felt like 15 minutes. He says funny lines.
No,
like,
he doesn't. Fuck
I
you.
think
Say
he's,
one.
I think he's charming more than he has funny one-liners.
I don't think he's charming at all. I think he's stupid.
All right.
And here's the thing too. When I'm watching the movie,
Was
I
it
get,
funny when he died? Like, I'm sure that was hilarious to you.
You know what? A little bit. No.
Yeah,
So
T.J. Miller dies in this movie. It's weird. It's really weird. This is the first time in a Transformers movie where people are willingly knocked off.
Willie, no. It's,
like
in a
very
vain
violent
attempt,
ways.
in a vain attempt to make something
really,
emotional.
really, didn't they destroy all of fucking Chicago? And they're
Yeah,
like,
we didn't see them.
Yeah,
They did the
we
same
didn't
thing in
see
Man of
anybody
Steel.
they did the same thing in Man of Steel, but they all said 1,500 people died in that. I'm like, oh, what?
Out of every
They
Transformers
leveled, like,
movie, this
8
feels
buildings.
like the most violent Michael Bay's ever been within the PG-13 spectrum.
Really?
Like,
I
there's
think-
more blood. I know there's more blood. Like, I know I've seen these movies. There's not a lot of blood in those first three. There's like a crap ton of like.
We talking
blood
about when
fest
he
one.
I don't know.
when he
I disagree.
rips
I think
when he
the
rips
first
the head
movie
off of Megatron in the third one. There's like
Yeah, but that's
blood
but it's
everywhere.
but that's a blood cartoon. I'm talking about like actual humans with like physical like
I think that the
guns
first,
to
I think
head.
that the first movie is more violent because I think that the attacks on the military bases on the first movie, while you don't see people die, I think that they are that is more violent and more disturbing.
Who cares? Let's talk about this movie.
Yeah.
So, the problem is motivation for characters in this movie are stupid. The dialogue is horrible.
Yes.
Even fucking Optimus Prime drives me crazy.
Yes.
Because they have. I don't know how much Michael Bay spends on every single fucking shot in his movies, but they're like, hey, I need another helicopter shot of his daughter looking out the window of on the patio while
Cue to some very patriotic music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many
anyways,
American flag shots are in this movie?
Oh, many. And you know what?
Like 35.
So here's the thing. So the government's gonna kill this daughter because they're looking for Optimus Prime, and then all of a sudden Optimus Prime pops up. It's like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Stupid.
I don't laugh with any sense of irony. I do have an opinion about this
right.
movie, and this is it. Michael Bay did something very beautiful last year with Pain and Gain, where he was starting to realize how shitty he was. Not in about in terms of just like what people think is shitty. Like we were talking about this in the car. The idea that we can't enjoy a movie anymore. Michael Bay makes movies for 10-year-old boys. I think people need to really stop getting butthurt over on the internet about him.
No, it's
no. Like
here's the
I need to
thing.
stop getting butthurt over John Green. Okay,
It's not that they're movies for 10-year-old boys.
It's not.
Sean will laugh, so it's approved.
It has nothing to do with Mike. It has a lot to do with Michael. Here's what I'm saying: is I'm not those people on the internet. I give movies a chance, but when you have stupid things like. Oh, how many times is someone going to fly through the air and Bumblebee save him, and Bumblebee says something stupid, and he doesn't like this new fucking Stinger, and it's just juvenile. Everything in those movies is so fucking juvenile.
I agree.
Right. And there's no redeeming qualities in the movies. Even when he's fighting fucking dinosaurs. Optimus Prime is like, I'm here to help you. You're free. I'm like, dude, this is fucking retarded.
I agree with you that it's dumb.
But
I
maybe
agree
it's
with you that it's
intentionally
poorly
dumb. Maybe he's a
paced.
secret comic
No,
genius and we don't even know it.
It's not that it's intentionally dumb. It's that I think that these movies. I think that Michael Bay makes these movies from a place of like,
What would a kid playing with Transformers want to see?
Well, it's a visualization of what you imagined and the kind of stories you told when you were 8 years old and you were smashing toys together. And that doesn't necessarily it doesn't make a great movie. It makes for a movie that shows you something you don't get anywhere else.
But here's the thing:
the pacing's not always great.
No, it's horrible. And the Decepticons, when they morph now into little pieces, looked horrible.
It
looked way
so
it looks way better when Optimus Prime changes into things.
And in this movie, those animations are cooler than I think they've ever been.
They look great.
I think the transformations. in this movie are
when
great.
Optimus Prime always punches the ground and stuff. I mean, it looks great. I'm not saying the movie looks great. I mean, Michael Bay knows how to make action. Yeah. But to me, it still looks like he's bored in the movie because he's like, "What else can I do?"
Yeah, I would say that I don't think this one's as good as 1 or 3. I think it's probably better than 2 because this one the action scenes are not as creative as they are in 3.
I will admit that I laughed at one point when Stanley Tucci's like, "How do you say get the fuck out of my way in Chinese?"
Yes.
It's the only part I laughed.
I think Stanley Tucci takes the place of the what's his name? From The Big Lebowski.
John Turturro.
John Turturro's character in the first 3 movies. He sort of takes that really weird comic relief role, but it's way toned down and actually pretty palatable. I think Stanley Tucci is fun in that movie.
Oh yeah,
especially in the fifth act or whatever.
Then you also get that stupid little fucking transformer where he's like,
right.
"What would you do when you were on death row?" See, that's
the
my
racist
problem.
robot. The racist robot.
No, that one's not racist.
Not racist.
That one's not racist.
The stereotype robot.
Yeah,
is what
but
I've
that's
called
my problem with
this
this movie.
stereotype is now making fun of mentally challenged people.
Oh no, it's not.
Because
that character
you're telling me
the whole paranoid guy. Like y'all didn't believe me. Y'all told me I was crazy.
No.
He does that accent. He does that voice. I don't know. Like I'm getting head shakes, but that's what I thought.
No, I agree. But here's the thing: is I saw a movie this summer called Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And that's a huge movie that's incredibly intelligent. And then I get stupid shit like this, where it doesn't even make any sense. Like what the fuck? What's the name of the gun guy?
Right.
Lockdown?
Oh, Lockdown. Yeah.
Lockdown. What the fuck was his motivation? Oh, I'm going to collect everybody. Yeah, who the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the creator. Oh, cool. Now Optimus Prime's going to fly off to... I want to see him fight in space.
Yeah. No, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Would that not be
So
awesome?
fuck this movie. It's a piece of shit. And then the last part where Optimus Prime's flying off, it's like, I'm coming for you. Sweet. Now I get to see Cybertron. Now I'm going to have to see another fucking Transformer movie.
No, you're not, because he's going to end up coming back with, they're going to capture him or whatever and bring him back to, and then they're all going to fight on the Earth. It's always going to be about fighting on the Earth. Okay.
Now you guys tell me why I should see this movie.
Do you at least
Mic drop.
Do you at least think that? Do you at least think that Mark Wahlberg's character is more interesting than Shia LaBeouf in the
Yes,
two sequels?
absolutely.
In the two sequels,
Yes.
not in the first one.
No.
In the 2 sequels. Really?
No.
I care about his character and his daughter more than I care.
Why?
I don't know. It's
exactly.
It's shitty and cheap. But why do I care about him in 2 and 3?
Yeah, no. Okay. So his good friend T.J. Miller gets ice cubed or whatever the fuck happens to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, meh.
I know.
Oh, I care about that guy.
He did seem really disinterested.
He cares more about his
Well,
daughter.
actually, you know what? There was a line where they set up their quote-unquote friendship, which was like, you're my employee.
Yeah.
I'm your employer.
I think
I pay
think
a check. That's why I took it to buy this truck.
I think that Marky Mark is talented enough that his banter with the stupid boyfriend who's Irish is somewhat charming.
Did that make sense to anybody? It was just was it just an excuse for Michael Bay to make fun of Irish people?
Oh yeah.
no.
Oh no, it's bad. Oh that.
Okay,
I am
hey,
sometimes
let's go back to
convinced
that.
Michael Bay makes movies
so
to
her
make fun of
boyfriend is
certain
hanging
groups.
out in a rally car in a ditch by her fucking house. Then
he was coming over so they could have sex.
Then they go to China, and the Autobots can find them on the top of one fucking building.
Yeah, and then he shoots a sword.
That's the same problem they had in the
Right.
third one. They could all see each other from one big tall building. This is a consistent theme. He makes consistent.
I'm still waiting for
films.
you guys to tell me why this movie's good.
Because they ride on giant robot dinosaurs
That breathe fire
that breathe fire and eat other robots.
a lot.
Still not cool.
Also, John fucking Goodman. Mic drop.
Wow, that is out of any actor in the Transformers series, That was the best.
The most entertaining Transformer in any of the series.
Yeah. It was like watching Walter White, not Walter White. I'm sorry, Walter from Big Lebowski. As a
in
robot.
fact, they.
I know they make references. It's fun. Was it?
I
Ken
think that this is the first time that they've made the robots on the side actually kind of fun and interesting in the most I'm an 8-year-old way.
What about the part where they're like
the guy? Was Ken Watanabe?
Yeah,
the
Ken
samurai?
Watanabe is in it. Yeah,
I thought it was him.
I'm pretty sure
that was their version of those two black robots in the second one or something like that. Like, but you make a great point. This is as entertaining and connective as possible. If I were an 8-year-old boy,
not as possible. They could make more interesting characters,
but again,
this is the most interesting they've ever gotten.
Maybe I think that.
Shauna, did you like the movie? Or you want to say something?
Say
Fuck
it.
these guys.
I liked the movie. I went in with low expectations of big explosions and okay acting, and that's kind of what it was. And I also had no idea about the Dinobots, so that was a plus. I was really excited by the Dinobots.
There you go. That's why the movie's fun. Like, why can't you just enjoy? You know why I love the movie? Mark Wahlberg. I went because of Mark Wahlberg. I did not want to go see another robot movie. I went to watch this guy talk.
Hold on. It doesn't make Ryan wrong. These are all like dumb excuse. Like, these movies are fucking shit.
Yeah.
But they have giant cars. They have cars that turn into robots and then they fight. And that's all I need.
And you know what's awesome too is how many commercials I saw.
Yeah.
I saw one for Lamborghini, Chevy,
Secret.
Bud Light,
Victoria's
Secret.
Oh man! Why is there a Victoria's Secret bus in China?
I thought the Bud Light one was really funny, where he just right after the whole crash, he just takes.
Or what about the part where Mark Wahlberg crashes into the car? He's like, "I hope you have insurance." Like that's what that guy would say.
Right.
Oh, what? It's a UFO? You expect to have insurance?
I know it's stupid, but in the middle of something equally as stupid, it felt like a relief of even. There's two levels of stupidity. Stupid and really stupid. This was stupid compared to really stupid.
There is an art to having stuff like that and making it funny.
I agree. And this isn't it.
Michael Bay doesn't know how to do that. No. Does he? Or I'm sorry.
I want to put the Bad Boys argument into this, where he can make it entertaining and fun and still make it bombastic.
Yeah.
But they...
This is not
good.
Giving
Ryan a seizure.
The movie is 2 hours and 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
You could cut 50 minutes out of this movie.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you probably should take another half an hour of it and make that action scenes instead. I think there are a couple things I really don't like about this movie. One, I hate the fact that they turn all of the military into evil guys, because one of the things I really enjoy about the original 3 is all those scenes where like the military gets to be badass and we don't always feel helpless, you know? Like in the second one, they're shooting rail guns from battleships to blow up aliens that are climbing up on pyramids and shit like that. Like this is the first time the humans have actually felt like really helpless the whole time. Because the first one, coolest line in that whole movie is "Bring the rain." Dude, bring the rain is cool. I like seeing the military bring the rain
too. So I saw Star Trek 5.
Yeah.
And the part where Kirk says, "We all have God. He's in here. He's in all of us." It's the same fucking thing in Transformers, except it's stupider.
Oh, with the whole soul
that
thing?
last line where he's just like, "In my soul."
Yeah.
When you look up in the sky, you see one star.
That was
my
garbage.
soul.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Oh no!
That was
They
a
could've cut
big old
that.
pile of stinking.
You don't have a soul.
trash.
That's why I'm not afraid. Oh, the dialogue is horrible.
Oh, it is.
Well,
Absolutely
ex-
horrible.
Did
But
you push a
again-
button? You had to push a button.
But again, are you really going into a Transformers movie for the scintillating dialogue? I guess that's the thing.
But the action in this
no,
is
it's
not as
the
good
thing,
as 3.
actually. No, Ryan's right. That's not the thing. You do want some substance out of that dialogue.
You do,
this
because
dialogue feels
Okay,
overly stupid.
I will say I think his daughter was way better than any other female character that's been in it before.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she can act.
Yes.
So
and has an actual like character.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not a deep character, but it's
no.
something.
But she still cares about her dad. She cares about this guy.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, there's parts in this movie that are good. But if I was going to give it on a scale of like 1 to 10, it's like a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Because Michael Bay is bored with this movie. And you're talking about a guy who's bored and he's destroying half of downtown China.
And you just hit on why I love this movie. I really am so glad that in every part of this film there is mention to the fact that this is the last one, because it reminds me of those. It reminds me of what directors try to do. Indie directors love to do this nowadays because they need money, or they want to express something creatively. You make a sequel to a movie that you made like as your first time filmmaker or something like that. And I'm not saying that against like something like Clerks 2 or The Brothers McMillan or something like that. But there are sometimes in a director's head, I feel like you get bored enough with these characters that you want to see them go in the most ridiculous places possible for the last shebang. And I do feel this might be the last shebang because I don't know if this movie is going to make half of what the first
one. Oh, no, this will make more than any of the prequels.
I don't know.
I do know.
We live in a world where Think Like a Man 2 beat How to Train Your Dragon. So.
Yes, in America it might do less, but this movie has huge sections of China in it, including that dude in that car who starts to get sucked up into the ship. I will bet you money that guy is a music artist in China that everybody in China knows, and we'll see that movie for him.
Well, here's the thing: is I've already read the Friday report on this movie. It made $42 million.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it made $80 million in China. They're gonna.
No, they're cleaning up. Fair enough.
Oh yeah.
But
and they'll make more.
But give it to somebody.
You touched on what I wanted to say. I do want to say it. I love that he is bored with it because I want to see Michael Bay move on from stuff like this. We saw a good movie last year called Pain and Gain.
Bad Boys 3.
Compared to I would love to see Bad Boys 3 as well.
I would love to see
that.
that.
But if Michael Bay's willing to make a movie like Pain and Gain, it shows that he's not just out there to make money. Like clearly he has a voice, and with Transformers 4, I feel like it's him kind of saying like, "Look, I might be packing it in. I don't know, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go out with a bang."
But this isn't
I
a
think
bang.
I actually think that there's a lot of moments in this film that are meritable in terms of just accepting it for what it is. That's what I loved about this movie. It finally accepted what it is. It took 4 movies, but he finally accepted it as an artist what it is.
I would say that for the third one, but not this one.
But you can't, as an artist and as a moviegoer, the reason we have Think Like a Man 2 is because you accept those things. You need people to push. That's why Captain America is so successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, I don't care what anybody says, Spider-Man 2 was great, is because you're taking elements and you're making it about, it's not about Captain America.
Right.
That movie is about Steven Rogers' relationship with people that he's affected because of the decisions he's made in his life, whether it's Peggy Carter or Bucky, Nick Fury, S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, it's so deep, and that's why I have a hard time with this movie. When you have movies, these summer blockbusters like that are just so deep, and you have a piece of shit like this where you're just like, oh, cool, a dinosaur eats another robot.
I don't disagree with you at all. Like, right, this is not a movie with any level of character development or plot. Like,
we're essentially reviewing the dinos at this point.
Yeah, like, this is a movie that the only thing this movie has going for it is that it's big. Like, so the only, all I'm getting out of it is, like, that is a huge explosion for one missile hitting a house. Or that is, look at how big that explosion they're running from is. And it's not, like, I like that. Most people probably shouldn't care.
But here's the thing,
I think Michael Bay's in love with dynamite.
Michael Bay, there's parts in it where he does so many cool things. There's a part where Mark Wahlberg runs up the side of a car, jumps and grabs onto the car that's being lifted up.
Yeah.
And the way he shoots it is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
And you see, in Pain and Gain, he had shots like that where Mark Wahlberg is doing sit-ups on the side of a building and then he jumps down.
I'm hot!
Because he's being chased. He has that ability, and he had some of those shots in this movie.
Yeah.
But then the rest of he's just like, whatever.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't think he's having as much fun as he had in the prequel. Because I think 3 is really the pinnacle of that for me, of being just big and like, I'm Michael Bay and I'm going to just throw everything I have at this being stupid and huge.
He's earned the right to do it. I'm not saying anything. This guy puts out billion-dollar movies consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's...
He's good at what he does.
Whether it's Transformers or even you can say Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, all those movies make over $200 million in the United States.
Except for The Island.
But that movie was paid for before it was even released.
That is true.
So even Pain and Gain, I think, only made like $50 million.
Yeah.
But
That's the lowest grossing film he's made.
But it shows you can do it, though.
Exactly, and that's why that's why I've stopped being on the Michael Bay station. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to get off the hate John Green stage at this point. I don't know. Maybe Shauna convinced me, but I don't, because I would be a hypocrite to say what I want to say if I didn't make amends for that. If people want to make what they want to make, let them make it. At the end of the day, what is the problem with Michael Bay making a movie that appeals to 10-year-old boys? What's the problem with anybody doing what they want to tell as a story?
Yeah. No,
And to me, my feeling is at the root of it. That's what the problem is.
He's earned the right to make this movie. I'm not taking that away from him, but the movie fucking sucks.
It did. I really liked it. I had fun. And in 3D, stuff was coming at me.
I know, especially that little sentry
I didn't like the 3D part of it. There was almost nothing that really made it worth. First off, the extra $3.
Yeah.
I don't think it was filmed in 3D, was it?
No, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I would bet
it was.
Michael Bay's got a lot of money.
Okay.
He doesn't cheap his
They
way
would,
through that.
if anything, they probably would have shot it with the Red Epic, but I don't know the specs on it, but that's the most modern. That's the most used 3D camera that I've seen, at least in
Yeah,
reports.
I
think the 3D in this one was weaker than the third one. I thought it felt too mazy. It felt too much like going through Temple Run.
The third one's got that awesome space opening, which is great in 3D.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of wanted to see this one in 3D, and then their space shots in this one in 3D are actually kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
The dinos in 3D looked cool, though. The dinos in 3D looked nice.
Yeah, I think there are some sequences that in 3D were kind of neat.
Charge.
Yeah, that was stupid as shit. But Optimus Prime was on a big dinosaur, and then he ran through. That's
your guys' arguments aren't as convincing as mine.
No, they're not, and I don't disagree with you.
Here's the thing: Ryan's being very rational, and we're all just we are all under some form of ecstasy or something.
No, it's like
I think it's part of it is perception. I went into it thinking it was going to be like another Expendables movie. It had absolutely no story that I gave a crap about, but it was a lot of action. It was a lot of fight scenes. It was a lot of explosions. That's what drew me in, and that's why I cared to watch it. None of those movies, I own all of them, and none of them really have any storyline that I could care less about,
Yeah.
But the critics
action-wise, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Watching was it the third one that had the big worm thing going through? I loved that part.
Yeah.
That was the greatest part in that whole movie, is watching that thing just eat away at the building. And
that's the thing.
Did it matter?
I think that part, part of what's cool about that is not just that there's this giant robot and it's destroying this whole building, but also the design of those action sequences where the building's falling and people are sliding down and because they're in the building the whole time and they get in these cool situations that are really creative. And there's not a lot of that here. So a lot of the times they're in a car. I did actually kind of enjoy some of the shots from inside the car where the Dinobots are running around and you're because the roof of the car is glass, so you're seeing the action going on the outside, but it doesn't put those characters in interesting positions like the other sequels have.
Right.
So when Galvatron first shows up and fights Optimus Prime and the girl is next to the car and she's like,
the fact that she never ran away. Why are you still
with the car? And it's just that they're not spending the time that they should trying to create as cool of action scenes as they have before.
Right.
Optimus Prime is still fighting Galvatron, and they're and they're fighting and punching each other. And there are even some people fights when Mark Wahlberg fights Titus, the Man in Black from Lost. Anyway,
right.
Yeah. When he fights that guy,
building.
and there's it's like Michael Bay doing his very best Paul Greengrass from the Bourne films, where it's Michael Bay, there's a Asian guy on the toilet because it's Michael Bay, and then they're in that room fighting each other and hitting each other with his man. Even that scene, I'm okay, this is kind of cool. It's weird for a Terminator or for a Transformers movie, but
that should have never if there was 50 minutes that could have been cut out, 10 minutes of that fight scene could have been cut out.
Yeah, I did. Man. But at the same time, I kind of appreciate that the chase down the side of that building where they start trying to make Marky Mark do parkour, but then we remember that he's not really a hero. He's not like really in action. Like, and then he just sort of falls down the whole thing.
lot.
And I thought that was fun.
That was one. Well, I have problems with this film as a filmmaker, but as an audience goer, my biggest problem with this film is that Mark Wahlberg barely punched anybody. Barely.
Yeah. Say hi to your mother for me.
Guys, this movie's going to pay for my daughter's college education, guys.
This is a movie where when you get when you
Stoned
get a letter,
enough.
no, when you get a letter from your college that says you're not going to get financial aid, the letter you open it up and it's just got giant red bold font that says denied.
You're like, you don't
the
have to
movie you're
see
in.
anything else. Just denied, and you're like, yeah, I get it.
Right, like because financial aid companies don't like nicely worded letters.
But he's a good guy, guys. You drop off the stuff you need repaired, and you pay him what you think it's worth.
Right, but then she drops.
Because that's how real
the
life
recorder
works.
She don't even lay it down. She just drops it.
It's because he's a hero.
In Texas, everybody still needs to fix their VHS film, like video cameras, and their CD players and their Walkmans.
This is an America that doesn't have to exist within our modern times.
But they don't need to fix their.
This is Michael Bay's America.
They don't need to fix
where
their
Bill
American-
O'Reilly still has an opinion.
I'm Galvatron.
They don't need. To
Was
fix
it Hugo Weaving playing Galvatron?
No.
I
don't
thought
think
they'd
so.
bring him back because it's the mind of Megatron. That's the thing. They were trying to like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not Megatron, but it's. And
Dude,
do
they
that.
don't give a shit.
And they do that. You know what? I love the meta jokes, but this is the one time I hated it. Was then they're just like, so it's really Megatron, and we were all really fooled. It's like that.
Yeah.
That made me want to start throwing things. But I mean, aside from that, I don't know. Sometimes I like to turn my brain off. You know, like you were talking about
Boy,
how I
how
like to
did you have
wax
to.
eloquent. Well, I especially want to turn my brain off after that Fault in Our Stars review now. But you know, sometimes I like to turn my brain off, and when I do, sometimes it's just watching, you know, something random as that. Like I haven't watched the first 3 in a while, but this is the first time I've ever paid to watch a Transformers movie, and I'm glad it was this one because I at least had fun and I felt my money was worth it.
Right.
You know?
Good. I want my money back. Next week, we're actually seeing a movie I'm excited for. Scott Derrickson's "Deliver Us from Evil."
Yes.
Is opening.
Oh, nice.
Is that next week?
It is.
Man. All right.
And James isn't looking forward to it.
No.
Well, it's either that or Tammy. So.
Fuck.
Or you can go see Jaws. It's playing
What?
at the Esquire, I think.
You should do a flashback episode like, welcome to Real Nerds from the 70s. Today we're reviewing Jaws.
Dude, we've talked about Jaws so many times. We could just cut that episode together from the last 3.5 years.
It's like when Hollywood Babylon does their Liam Neeson's cock is so big
Right,
compilation.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, Jaws is really good.
I love Jaws.
I didn't realize I hadn't seen it, but I accidentally started watching Inside Jaws again, which is the filmumentary, right, where you watch Jaws and then they throughout the movie will cut in like any piece of information that they can. So there's like subtitles on the movie that'll tell you like trivia, and then they'll at certain scenes they'll just show you like alternate versions or things like that, or they'll intercut interviews and things like that. And I started watching it, and I was like, man, I feel like I really do know everything about Jaws, don't I? And then I was like, oh no, I've seen this before. Never mind.
My favorite is Maximum Movie Mode with Robert Downey Jr. on Sherlock Game of Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Because it always cuts him. He's like, I don't know why you guys want to watch me talk about this movie, but this is me fighting a guy.
Oh.
But
All
in
right.
the cool, entertaining Robert Downey Jr. way,
Yeah.
not like how I just did it.
Just here, can we pretend like we're gonna go see Doctor Strange next week, and then like I'll just show up and be like, oh man, that movie,
Yeah.
this movie scared me.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna go see Doctor Strange. Scott Derrickson's Doctor
We're
Strange.
going to
next
see
week.
Doctor Strange Deliver Us from Evil.
Yeah. Oh, dude. All right. Cool.
Dude, Derrickson's Doctor Strange is going to be
Marvel's
awesome.
really getting innovative, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming by,
Bye.
guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Fuck Brad.
Fuck Brad.
I hope his thing went well.
I don't. I wish you well, buddy. But not really.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's a truck at all. I think we just found a transformer.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. and download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover, and also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.
Robot dinosaurs are entertaining. So, talking to that mic, see how you sound?
Fuck you, James. I don't want to talk in the mic.
Sorry, do that again when I'm actually looking at the thing.
I'll talk into the mic as long as you want me to, James.
Awesome, that's great.
Did you get Steve?
Did you get Steve what?
At the Alamo?
I tried to find him, actually. Steve Bissett?
Yeah, he was in my theater.
Oh,
really?
no.
I see
what you're saying.
I tried to find him because he had reached out to me on Twitter, but apparently he was working.
Yeah.
No, I got a guy named Nick. He was pretty good. I think he had a good beard.
Nice.
I mean, it was dark, so it was hard to really see his beard. But,
you mean you didn't have time in the 3-hour-long fucking Transformers movie?
To get to know him? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was paying attention to the movie.
Really?
This is going to be a fun one.
It probably will be.
Oh,
I only
man.
just listened to the one where you guys did the the like
last
number
Transform?
5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's actually hilarious that you're talking about it because I just heard you guys talking.
Have this exact conversation.
No, actually, I think the third one. I think I was on. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, you kind of liked it.
Yeah, I remember the 3D being pretty impressive.
Yeah. Cool. We are good to go.